unity. To start right in the community with love between you and me. Good morning to all my family. Morning to all the ones I meet along the street. I just love to love and greet. Greeting my people with that smile. Good morning, neighbor, you're feeling fine. Hope all is well today. Simple things we forget to say. Have you love truly gone our way? No way. Today, not today. Morning, neighbor. Good morning, morning, neighbor. Good morning, morning, neighbor. Good morning, morning, morning. Good morning, morning, neighbor. Good morning, morning, neighbor. Good morning, morning, neighbor. Good morning, morning, neighbor. Morning, morning, neighbor. Good morning, morning, neighbor. Good morning, morning, neighbor. Good morning, morning, neighbor. Morning, morning, neighbor. Good morning, morning, neighbor. Good morning, morning, neighbor. Good morning, morning, neighbor. Morning,
This is City 91.1 FM.
Good morning. This is your TTT News Update at 6. I'm Carrie Roberts. Making the news at this time. Minister of Homeland Security Roger Alexander says that while the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service continues to enjoy the full backing of the government, all officers are expected to operate strictly within the confines of the law, stressing that no individual is above it. He made the remarks while addressing the United National Congress's media conference on Wednesday.
Support does not mean you do what you want. Support means doing your job, doing it properly, doing it fairly, and doing it with integrity. We must also take into mind or consideration we do it and respect the public.
Meanwhile, Minister Alexander is also dismissing claims that he intends to introduce legislation restricting the public from releasing CCTV footage of police-involved incidents.
Everybody has a camera on their house, not so? How can you legislate against that? Think about it. You know what I said? If I have a camera on my home, I have no problem putting it out in the social media. But give the authorities an opportunity to investigate first. That's all I was saying, you know. So probably we need to say, well, hey, before you do that, give it to the relevant authorities.
The minister explained that allowing investigators to review the footage first reduces the risk of tampering or manipulation.
Now, with the advancement of AI and all these things, we got to be careful, you know. And then what people don't know or are aware of, you as the house owner has to give evidence in this matter because you have to describe how you gave me possession of this. So, milady, and for members of the public, I did not. I see even CNC3 or somebody put up something, how $10,000 for. I don't know where they came that from. Utter rubbish as usual.
San Fernando, your carnival will go on. That assurance has come from the Minister of Culture and Community Development, Michelle Benjamin, following Tuesday's announcement by the San Fernando Carnival Committee that it would suspend the competitive elements of its celebrations due to reduced funding. However, Minister Benjamin emphasized that the decision will not dampen the spirit of Carnival in South Trinidad, assuring that the festivities will continue as planned and that revelers can still look forward to a full Carnival experience.
Ministry and NCC, we stand ready. My entire family plays Juve in San Fernando, and the judging will go on without the city. If the city corporation is not ready to run the people's carnival, the people will run their carnival. We have brought the carnival back to the people.
However, Minister Benjamin assured that Carnival 2026 is already shaping up to be a bumper celebration, one she says will be richer, safer, and more inclusive for all.
More economically impactful and more loved. I'm telling you, from every feedback that we are getting, everyone is impressed. Carnival 2026 is happening, it is thriving, and it is booming. We have recorded over 37,000 visitors and projected to do more, according to Carl. All my reports and indication is that the hotels are fully booked, and we also have persons that cannot get a booking right now.
Minister Benjamin also revealed that government has generated employment for more than 800 people during this carnival season already. In some sport now, India has stormed into the ICC Men's Under-19 Cricket World Cup final after pulling off the tournament's biggest ever run chase. They hunted down Afghanistan's 310 for 4 with nearly 9 overs to spare, setting up a Friday showdown with England. Aaron George was the hero for India, smashing a brilliant 115 to anchor the record chase. Afghanistan had posted an imposing 310 for 4 with Faisal Khan and Uzairullah Nazai both reaching centuries, only the second time two batters have hit hundreds in the same knockout innings. But India's response was explosive. 14-year-old Vaibhav Suryavanshi blazed 68 off just 33 balls, racing to his 50 in just 25 deliveries. Captain Ayush Mahatri added 62, while George's composed century steered India home with 8.5 overs to spare. The 7-wicket victory sends India through to Friday's final, where they will face England for the Under-19 cricket's ultimate prize. And that's what's making the news this morning. But joining us right now is the host of Trinidad and Tobago Today, Vimala Bakaran. Good morning, Vimala.
Good morning, Carrie. How are you today?
I am good. A little bit tired, but good.
Why are you tired?
Work and other activities, putting the candle at both ends, as they say.
I can totally agree to that. Also, Carrie, I wanted to tell you that today is Time to Talk Day. Did you ever hear about that?
No,
yeah, it's actually an annual event that encourages people to have open conversations about mental health.
Okay.
So this morning, I just want to say to anyone who may be struggling, if you know someone, talk to someone, not just today, but every single day. Pay attention to your feelings, your emotions. Your mental health is so important, and you matter as well.
That's right, and just have someone to vent to, someone to confide in, because again, mental health is still a bit of a taboo topic in the Caribbean, and we need to change our mentality.
Yeah, hopefully we can change that one day at a time and be there for the people around you and the people that you care about, even strangers. Well, Carrie, actually today on the show, we get to see more of you in one of your exciting videos that always makes the day, and of course, so much more on Trinidad and Tobago today.
Right, so much to look forward to. I'm looking forward to it. Thank you so much for
Thank you, Carrie.
All right, when we come back, the Trinidad and Tobago Today morning show gets going after this break.
That was TTT News on Talk City 91.1 FM.
Talk City 91.1 FM. Talk.
This is about creating opportunity through responsible management and citizen participation in national wealth. We are targeting US $3 billion in new investment within the next few years in energy, in construction, in tourism, and the digital economy.
Music.
It's reconstruction time in Trinidad, so put your shoulder to the wheel and lad, move on, don't stop till you reach the top. You put a hand and I put a hand and we will sing. For big and for small in no time at all, prosperity. There's no other way to do it. Show your patriotic spirit, unity. Somehow, if Trinidad ever needed you, is now.
Culture.
The budget has goodies and some not so goodies, but that is because fairness requires that everyone plays their part.
Engaging conversations, latest news, our music. This is Talk City 91.1 FM.
These are not just stories, they are the echoes of who we are, passed down in voices, in silence, and in memory. From the heart of the Caribbean, where history, mystery, and magic meet, this is Echoes of Our Folklore. Echoes of Our Folklore. Your weekly journey into the legends, stories, and whispers of our islands. Brought to you by Talk City 91.1 FM. You may wonder, how can a tree become a legend? But for centuries, one towering giant has stood not just as part of the landscape, but as part of the lore. They call it the silk cotton tree, also known as the ceiba, the kapok, the jambi tree. Its massive roots grip the earth, its branches stretch high into the sky, and its shadow carries stories older than memory. Long before the modern world, the first peoples of Trinidad, the Amerindians, believed this tree was a dwelling place for spirits. They didn't worship it, but they revered it. Later, when Africans were brought to the island, they too learned to respect the silk cotton. So deeply, in fact, that many refused to cut it down for timber. That fear still lives today. Engineers, planners, workers, even with blueprints in hand, have been known to walk away rather than disturb a silk cotton tree. Better to reroute a road than to awaken what lies within. For the old stories warn, inside the trunk, inside the roots, dwell spirits not meant to be disturbed. And if you dare to cut it, if you strike the silk cotton, if you chop away even a single piece, the lore says you will be struck dead. Immediately, no second chances, no mercy, just silence. So when you pass one on a lonely road, when its massive branches loom above you in the moonlight, remember, in the Caribbean, some trees are not just trees. They are guardians, they are warnings, they are alive with stories we were never meant to forget. Another tale from our islands, reminding us that the past, the spirits, and the stories of our ancestors are never far away. You've been listening to Echoes of Our Folklore. Echoes of Our Folklore. Only on Talk City 91.1 FM. Every morning begins with a story. The headlines you need. The voices you trust. The conversations shaping our nation. Welcome to Trinidad and Tobago Today, where your day starts informed and inspired. News that matters to you. Conversations that spark new ideas. Stories that move Trinidad and Tobago forward. Tune in weekdays, Monday to Friday at 6 a.m. or join the conversation on any smart device at TNT Today Show. Trinidad and Tobago Today. Start here, exclusively on TTT.
When it matters, we're there, reporting the news as it happens, because your world can't wait. TTT News, nightly at 7. TTT News, committed, accurate, relevant.
After Carnival, TNT, the show you all been waiting for. Laugh till your belly busts. In partnership with Talk City 91.1 FM and TTT Limited, 28th of February at Napa, Port of Spain. Showtime, 8 p.m. sharp. Come see the funniest guys on the planet and the man who took social media by storm, Victor St. Louis, a.k.a. Pelp.
You know, things so hard right now in Trinidad. You know, a store in town, no fire, 2 mannequin.
All his funny friends, Kenneth Sipasa, the greatest storytime teller ever, Shaquille, Louis Spiderman Antoine, Andrew Friday, The Saint.
Listen, me you know, first it's so expensive. I went and priced a plate there. You know, they're telling me $10,000 for a plate. I say, only I know sauces.
And Paniska is back.
Stop it, honey. Don't bring out the dog in me, you know. I better scrape you.
Get those tickets now. Ronnie and Caro, Mascap, Maraval Road, Port of Spain, Bruce Bar, St. Augustine, and islandetickets.com. For ticket hotlines, call 278-5892, 316-0814, 382-9986. Laugh till your belly busts.
From Canberra to Carnival, this is Talk City 91.1. Any views or opinions expressed on the ground report are solely those of the hosts and callers and do not represent the views, policies, or official position of Talk City 91.1, its management, or affiliates.
This is Destra. Right now you're listening to Talk City 91.1. Keep it loud.
6 a.m. to 9 a.m. Join Andy Williams and Lennox Smith, the Ground Report team, as they rip apart the lies, half-truth, and misinformation that the mainstream media never discuss. The Ground Report. Hard-hitting, informative, undiluted, uncompromising, and unfiltered. Monday to Friday. Get the raw facts before making any life-changing decisions. Only on The Ground Report. The Ground Report.
The government of Trinidad and Tobago is not closing down Petrotrin.
The Ground Report. The Ground Report.
I would think that there's been very clear that all the employees of Petrotrin will exit the company. All.
The Ground Report with Andy Williams and Lennox Smith.
Bang, bang, bang.
For the people rather than have the people work to keep a government in place. Water you turned into wine. Open the eyes of the blind. There's no one like you. None like you. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Into the darkness you shine. Giving you the giving you the voice, man. Listen to the lyrics, listen to the words, and then I go give you the rhythm. Our God is greater, our God is stronger, God you are high. Then I go drive me jambi, my bass jambi, my godly jambi, for it to feel it. Boom, 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 boom in your heart.
Ground Report with Andy Williams and Lennox Smith.
Good morning, Trinidad and Tobago. Listen. Out of the ashes we rise. There's no one like you. None like you. Oh, yeah, listen. Our God is greater. People rather than have the people work to keep a government in place. Nice. Now let me drive the Holy Spirit and all of them now. Listen to the boom, boom, boom. And if our God is for us, then who could ever stop us? And if our God is with us, then what can stand against? And if our God is for us, then who could ever stop us? And if our God is with us, then what can stand against? Stand against. Our God is greater, our God is stronger, God you are higher than any other. Our God is healer, awesome in power, our God.
This is Bill Clinton, and you're listening to TNT's #1 talk show, The Ground Report, with host Andy Williams, Director Snipes, and Lennox Smith. on Talk City 91.1 FM. So share the live, friends.
And if our God is for us, then who could ever stop us? And if our God is with us, then what can stand against? And if our God is for us, then who could ever stop us? And if our God is with us, then what can stand against? Stand against.
Bang, 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 bang.
Good morning, Trinidad and Tobago. Let me say pleasant good morning to all maxi taxi drivers, PH drivers, bus drivers, truckers. Good morning to each and every one of you, the loyal drivers that always make sure that everybody on a morning to work and from work must look on to Talk City 91.1 FM, the biggest program on radio between the hours of 6 and 9, The Ground Report. The Ground Report. Yours truly, yes, with yours truly, the pitbull of radio. That's me, the dog. Lennox Smith, the big word man. The messages of the philosophy. And Director Snipes, that is what we're talking about. Let me say a pleasant good morning to Nigel Snipes. A pleasant good morning to you. Director Snipes, do you have a front burner?
Pleasant morning, Andy. Pleasant morning, Trinidad, Tobago, and the wider world.
Alright, so you don't have a front burner.
Not much on the front burner this morning.
Not much on the front burner, okay. Oh boy, and let me go to the big word man, Trinidad and Tobago. A pleasant good morning to Lennox Smith.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Of course, a pleasant morning to you as well, my friend, of course, and our director here in studio at Talk City 91.1. And, of course, you in Trinidad, East, West, North, South, Central, our friends in Tobago. And wherever you are, streaming on the World Wide Web, a pleasant good day to you. Yes, so welcome, of course, to the Thursday edition of the Ground Report, and clearly, of course, the penultimate before the final day, which is tomorrow. Of course, I love that. The Andy, I'm sure, would capture the sense of that. But that being as it may, there are several things that are supposed to be on the front burner this morning. Of course,
one of the first things I want to raise for the front burner this morning.
Okay.
Yeah.
I thought you were devoid. Go ahead. Let me hear.
One of the first things I want to would like to raise on the front burner this morning, Trinidad and Tobago. Again, with the Koki papers, the 1% papers, big there article there you seen there, the beautiful lady with the boy, Samaru fella that got killed, Roger Alexander, Homeland Security Minister. And the big thing is Alexander on probe into police killing. So earlier, Alexander, that's the minister, on probe when it comes to the police killing Trinidad and Tobago, is saying no cover up. As public cries, public to let Samaru investigation take its course, or to the public, let Samaru investigation take its course. Prepare to let the chips fall where they may. Urges, no cover up. And the public he's urging, let Samaru investigation take the course, it will be no cover up. Let's make him a little more understanding into
yes, indeed. Well, of course, part of that, in fact, it was part of a press conference between himself as Minister of Homeland Security and that of the Minister of Culture, given an update fundamentally about what is going to take place security-wise and some activities relating to Carnival, thus the Minister of Culture. But it's very interesting because I thought that he took the opportunity, of course, to take some heat off of himself because, there are certain elements and, of course, we could question their purpose and their origin, but that notwithstanding, the fact is that he found it necessary to respond. And of course, that response, which you just outlined, was really to say, don't blame me. Let the investigation take its course. And he outlined a number of entities that are charged with the responsibility of probing the incident that is of and in question, and of course causing public disquiet. Whether we see it as false or genuine, as the case may be, the fact is that the minister saw it fit to respond, tells me that he has some concerns, and therefore he says, well, listen, about 5 agencies are engaged in this investigation. Yep. The Professional Standard Bureau, that I think he didn't mention the Law Association, but certainly ultimately it will reach the PP when others such as the Police Complaints Authority would have concluded their investigations and draw their conclusions for consideration further. Yeah, go ahead.
Something. Do you believe it's pressure on the minister that what made him have to organize? Because some people say that he was kind of out of timing based, like the commissioner, where, you know, director's time say all this man had to do, which is the commissioner, was just zip his mouth. Shut up! Right? Then people eventually come and had a problem with the Minister Roger Alexander, Homeland Security Minister. And it come across to me like they try to say the same thing, because he and all kind of talk a little out of timing. And knowing our Prime Minister, Kamala Persad-Bissessar, and the head of the National Security Council, and the overwhelming cries by the public, and knowing that Kamala Persad-Bissessar, as she always does, which is, she said she's a Prime Minister that will listen. Remember, she listened when it come into the fines. And then she put in some days, 3 days, 7 days for people to get their act together. She also say, well, so long as things start to, or let's say to behave for herself, she will drop back the fines on them. Do you believe as the public pressure and pressure by most likely the Honorable Prime Minister that made them come out and had to clear up this thing because of what she did flopper recently, too, right after the police commissioner, he flopper. Did you see the flopper or understand or did you
I understand the causative agent by virtue of his utterances.
Yes, what did he say?
That generated the public outcry. And of course, in a sense, he was endorsing the stance of the commissioner, frankly, and I suppose because he is a former police officer of a senior rank, in that he left there, I think, as a superintendent.
Yeah.
So therefore he would have had some kind of not just internal or operational knowledge, but he would have had an affinity and therefore an appreciation. He's only human, and therefore, just as the commissioner, without the benefit of the additional information, responded to a situation that was in fact unfolding, and ought to have waited until, of course, more information would have surfaced, especially that mysterious video, because that is the center of the issue. Because if that did not surface, I think the police would not have had. Yeah, would not have to do damage control as is now, of course, being expressed in the public domain. Because remember, they called for his resignation and the commissioner at the same time. So there's a double whammy and a responsibility, of course, to explain. Of course, he did say that he is there at the behest and the wishes of the Prime Minister, and if she feels that his services are no longer required, well, then of course she will make the appropriate adjustments or decision. But as it stands, that is not so, and therefore he remains steadfast in the position that he now holds.
Nice. Hey, let me say a pleasant good morning to Carla Yang Yip, better known as Black Chinese, for You know, that is what Lennox Smith is here for, Carla, but he might have given me a big word. Right. So thank you so much. Maybe we go do without we grown reporters, but they say, Carla, tell me, Andy, the word is overwhelming. Right. So by the public overwhelming support.
No. It's overwhelming.
Right,
Overwhelming.
Overwhelming.
Well,
All right. Overwhelming.
Not wending. Overwhelming.
All right. Overwhelming.
Okay.
All right, man.
Well, that's what I'm here for. So thanks, Carla, for that observation. And it gave me an opportunity, of course, to engage.
All right. Oh, boy. So besides that, I watch here too in the papers here because we will touch on that. So Trinidad and Tobago, what you all believe in what it is we saw out there? Did the National Security Minister, Homeland Security Minister did the right thing, come out, have a press conference? Do you all still want his head? Do you all understand now what says thou on that? And do you believe that there will be no cover-up? Because the any day, I believe Mr. Alexander, that there will be no cover-up, but he's not the police commissioner. Eh? He don't have the power to investigate nothing. You understand? Who are the power to do the investigation will be the DPP. Well, to trigger anything will be the police commissioner and the DPP based on whatever information or evidence come before them. Okay? So, do you believe that there will be no cover-up and that we will know the truth, the whole truth and nothing but the truth when it comes into young Samaru murder and the crippleization of his young wife? What says thou? And do you believe
very
that...
interesting, Andy. He did give an explanation as to why the commissioner, Guevara, made reference to medical, or should I say psychological treatment for the officers. He said that is automatic, that is normal, and you shouldn't blame the commissioner, because the public in general will not know that. So that is procedural, and therefore that which the commissioner outlined, he was just reflecting what was automatic and natural in the system. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So he gave me a rowley when it comes to the president, and he talking to the commissioner then. No, partner, I ain't buying that.
No, as a former member of the, you see, he has a hybrid position, meaning that he has a twofold. I mean, you cannot not rely on your experience in a particular field to bring to the fore. You know, like anybody else, if you are a lawyer, you would normally, try to make reference. Once the situation merits it, you will make reference to that experience. If you're a teacher, you will make reference, and because I was a teacher, I could talk about overwhelming, for example.
Nice. And it's very good. And you now come in here, Twee, and Rowley, and Alexander, and you making excuses for him doing it. What we going to say, Trinidad and Tobago? That is just how it goes in politics, Trinidad and Tobago. That is just how it goes. So
we have to go for a break. And of course, when we come back, more on this edition of the Ground Report.
If you are a migrant currently living in Trinidad and Tobago without legal immigration status, this message is for you. The government of Trinidad and Tobago has introduced a special registration process for migrants who have overstayed or entered the country illegally. The online registration process will begin from Monday, 26th of January and end on Wednesday, 25th of February, 2026. All applicants are first required to register through the official portal at migrantregistration.gov.tt. That's migrantregistration.gov.tt. After completing the online registration, there will be a mandatory in-person processing and verification, which begins at the end of February 2026. The start date for that phase will be announced through official government channels. The in-person registration will take place at the Hazley Crawford Stadium, Port of Spain, the Atto Bolden Stadium in Balmain, Cuba, and the Larry Gomes Stadium in Malabar, Arima, as well as the Dwight York Stadium, Bacalet, Scarborough, Tobago. Applicants will undergo a comprehensive verification process, which will include vetting by the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service involving fingerprinting and background checks. You will also be required to undergo basic medical screening. Upon completion of the registration process, successful applicants will be required to pay $700 for the migrant registration card. The ministry reminds undocumented migrants your participation in this exercise is essential, as failure to register during this window will result in deportation. This special registration process for migrants is your opportunity to be documented, protected, and allowed to work legally in Trinidad and Tobago for a defined period. For additional instructions, along with online application and required forms, visit the official portal at migrantregistration.gov.tt. That's migrantregistration.gov.tt. This message brought to you by the Ministry of Homeland Security and the Information Division, Office of the Prime Minister.
This Valentine's season, Talk City 91.1 FM celebrates second chances at love. Were you divorced, heartbroken, widowed, and thought love was over until it found you again? Share your story on air in just 1 or 2 minutes. Tell us how you healed, how long it took, and how love returned. Respectfully, honestly, and from the heart. Daily winners will be selected with a grand prize winner announced on Friday, February 13th. Second chances. Love after heartbreak. Only on Talk City 91.1.
I dey carry your water from the moon and back, oh. I dey change my track, oh, just to see you there.
Here we go.
What is all this old noise? Wait, Mom streaming movies,
2,
Danny playing games, and Jenna blasting music all at the same time?
Yeah, remember we upgraded to Digicel plus 500 megabits per second plan. $500 to upload just as fast as download. So everybody could do their thing, same time, no lag.
Well, I'm not fighting for Wi-Fi again. Pull up HBO for me there.
Switch to Digicel Plus. Fast, reliable, 100% fiber home internet. Perfect for families with plenty devices, streaming, gaming, working, and more. Visit DigicelTT.com or any Digicel store today. Digicel Plus, better connected.
Are you looking to take your business to the next level? Let Talk City 91.1 FM help you reach thousands of potential customers daily. Our sales team is ready to craft the perfect advertising package just for you. Contact our sales department at 622-4141, extension 2601, 2602, 2605, and 2607, or email info@ttt.co.tt for unbeatable advertising opportunities with Talk City 91.1 FM. From the road to the radio, Talk City 91.1, 91.1.
This is Destra. And right now you're listening to Talk City 91.1. Keep it locked.
The ground report, the ground report.
The government of Trinidad and Tobago is not closing down Petrotrin.
The ground report, the ground report.
I would think that there's been very clear that all the employees of Petrotrin will exit the company. All.
The ground report with Andy Williams and Lennox Smith.
Nice. We are back. Time check. Yeah, it's 37 minutes past the hour of 6 o'clock. And you are listening and viewing the ground report on Talk City 91.1 FM. And don't forget, all of you that are on the lives, please don't forget to share. Share it on WhatsApp, share it on Facebook. Just share. And make sure a lot of people subscribe. Yes, make sure and do that. So, Trinidad, we don't want to stick on no specific topic because you see the commercials, the breaks coming in. When all they start to warm up, they hitting we are how we BAM! We had to cool back down, and then we had to try to build back up a hype again. So let me have to make it short and sweet, get to our points as fast as possible in order to open the lines to give you all the opportunity to have your say or to bring your front burner forward. Lennox Smith also seen civil society groups protest outside U.S. Embassy over Cuba blockade. Again, this man never dull moment with this David Abdullah Just every little thing. Venezuela was the same thing. If it not Cuba, it might have been for Iran. I don't know. What's your thoughts on that there, man?
I don't know why this man loves causes that inevitably fails. I don't know why he loves that. I suppose he probably wants always to be relevant and to be in the news. That's the only thing I can say, because I know that he was part of a partnership government under the same current Prime Minister, Kamala Persad-Bissessar, and just on the brink of providing or being able to provide some opportunities, he simply resigned. So he is that kind of fella. Then, of course, he has a party that really and truly has no significance, has not made any inroads anywhere, but yet still he perseveres. I suppose there are some people who simply loves to be in the news, and of course exercises in futility. So what can I say? But of course there is speculation, as I said, I attempted to say earlier, about whether or not the Prime Minister will attend the next meeting of CARICOM. So she has not indicated she will be going. Yeah, but you know, the new chairman, St. Kitts Nevis, I believe, Premier, was here in Trinidad, and I suppose was to lay the foundation, soften the relationship, and to show that you know, Trinidad and Tobago is a critical part of the whole process. I didn't know. Whilst it was speculative, I didn't know that Trinidad and Tobago would have been one of the largest contributors to the financing or the upkeep of the Secretariat or CARICOM. That was, and I could understand why the present chairman will be so anxious to make sure that you appease Trinidad and Tobago, more so because the zone of peace
the money.
position. Yeah, and but the zone of peace position has also resulted in Kamala Persad-Bissessar's government's position on the matter. It turned out to be much more viable as opposed to the zone of peace position that, of course, resulted in many of the countries, many of the countries being the victim of no visa entry, or the removal of visa entry for certain category of migrants or persons entering the United States from the Caribbean.
Nice. Trinidad and Tobago, the lines are open to you. You know the numbers. For those of you who want to call in studio, 91.1 FM Talk City. You can call us at Talk City at 622-4911. All of you remember, 4 Nigel Snipes, 4 Lennox Smith. So it's 4-911. And the first 3 numbers, 622-4911. Or you could send us a WhatsApp voice note in studio there at 394-4911. But right here on Real Media, in Real Media TT Studios, you can send us a voice note and you can call us WhatsApp. Yes, you can give us a WhatsApp call too at 366-3053, 366-3053. Or you can call us on the landline at 225-6644, 225-6644, or 239-5120, 239-5120. Many options for you all to make your contribution. Your contribution don't have to be our front burner. What's your front burner this morning? What you believe supposed to make news? Write your underground report on Talk City that not making news. So while we browse through the other headliners, you all can make a call, send your voice notes, and as such. Lennox, I also see here in the Guardian, I also see here, right, look, it just disappeared, right, I got it back. Nice. I also see the wives, Vincot launches probe into missing oil, unpaid services. Vincot, you know, well, the national, the company is like the mechanic.
Yeah, the vehicle maintenance company of Trinidad and Tobago.
And Vincot is saying, well, here it is. You know, the government of Trinidad and Tobago owing with the most amount of money. all the money from chairman of companies, all of it, everybody owing us. We need our money because he's trying to move Vincot from a total minus when it comes into money to a plus. Lennox Smith, what this Vincot was really and truly installed in Trinidad and Tobago for, or it was to do, and now this is the situation with that Vincot company. Let us know what.
Well, it had the responsibility of repairing state vehicles, and the police would have been the major beneficiary of that. However, you would have seen over the years that the police would have outsourced beyond Vincot. They bypassed Vincot and they went to, of course, private entities and so on. You see from time to time 2-3 police cars in some private garage somewhere. So there may have been some what I consider to be inefficiencies in the system, or Vincot may not have at one point in time be able to deliver. However, of course, under let's say interrogation by that joint select committee, we got certain revelations, and I suppose with the new board and the chairman, etc., they attempting, of course, to get Vincot to go back to its original moraines, and thus the revelations, including, of course, people from the organization itself having their vehicles privately dealt with, but not paying, and all of that. Apparently, the intention is to stop all of that.
Hold on, caller. Understand.
And collect from the police. I think the police is the biggest ower of that particular entity.
Understood. So it was put there because we all obviously see many government vehicles with a lease from them 1% companies and all them things needs to be fixed, and instead of fixing it by the government and paying the government, they're kind of outside private and might be paying even more. And now this new management, this new board, it decide to try to turn it around, get back the money, turn it around, and let it do what it's supposed to be doing. We understand. Go ahead, caller. Good morning to you.
Yeah, good morning. I'm calling to Andy. When you say callers, you may call now, and then you start talking. People that be on the line.
Well, you know, come on. About less than 2 minutes.
All right. Well, here it is. You tell me call Lennox yesterday after the program. I've been calling him. I don't know if he sleep away or what. I didn't get no response. Tell him I'll call him after the program. And next thing again,
like a man who was in the office yesterday. You sound just as a man. I took him for you, and I asked if you. I asked him if he called in this point, and then he said no. So I'm a bit confused. So because he has a voice similar to yours, so I will take note of the call. Right? Okay.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. Here the Andy.
Boy.
On the interview with the Homeland Security Minister, he wants people to stay away from the investigation by talking, and they will talk something that the people who do the investigation, they could call them and ask them, well, where they know this and how they get this and all kind of thing. So my advice to all you is keep away from that, because even Arnold Roberts and all didn't go that way because he know.
No,
right?
well, let me interject there. The public, they can't stop the public from interjecting into that, however it go. The investigators and them supposed to be professionals, and no matter what is banding about, the courts, when it could do something like that. But police investigation into a criminal activity is not like the court, where the court could restrain the public, and don't talk about that because we contempt a court and all kind of bacchanal thing. Right? So what the police commissioner, what Roger Alexander is asking, he's just asking the people to do them a favor. But the people don't have to. It's not by law.
All right.
Well put, and Andy. I don't think anybody could add to that because you have the sub judice rules as far as the court is concerned that could put a ban on the publication of certain things that may be before the courts and may jeopardize the outcome. But certainly, in terms of the presentation by a politician, is merely to ask a favor of the population to be much more civic-minded, etc. But of course, the opposition and so on will say, well, it's pure politicking, and therefore we are not going to be silenced and, of course, interpreted whichever way. Yeah.
Nice. Opposition calls for all housing ministers to be fired. Lennox Smith, why the opposition is calling for all? Before you answer that, let me just take this call here because he did not long yesterday. But the opposition is calling for all three. David Lee, Arnold Roberts, and Philip Alexander. They are calling for all three housing ministers to be fired. You're going to let us know why the opposition is calling for that, for their heads. Go ahead, caller. You got to make it short and sweet as white or what. Go ahead.
Yes, we have to go for calling, break in a while. Go ahead, caller.
Yeah, Barack for here. Andy, let me tell you something. You see all this protest and call for investigation and with this shooting, police shooting and thing that took place there. Since that happened, how much people get murdered in this country again? Are we hearing any protests? So what we trying to say to this population, only when police shoot somebody, that life matter. When we see the killing and the murder taking place broad daylight all in the city and thing, those lives that have been taken doesn't matter. Because first they're saying that even surface are criminal, demand surrender. So even surface criminals, why it isn't we are seeing an outcry from the population to tell the population, hey, we don't want this type of brutality taking place in the country. Why they don't come out with the protests and let me go in Lavantil and all these places and tell the population there, hey, we had enough. This gang warfare had to stop and all these kind of thing. So yeah, that's why you see I don't support these kind of dotishness, you know. Because if wasn't this government was in power, we would not see people with big belly and thing putting up their hands and thing in front of the Red House because of their political agenda. They could put these march and these protests in our bread, they could put it in our bake, they could put it in our roti, they could put it in what? It stinks and it tastes of politics, P&M politics. Because if we're serious in this country, not only when police shoot somebody, is an issue in this country. Every murder from the time one took place in this country, the whole population, because we know who the people are. All these people were protesting, they know where the crime is, they know the problem in this country, you know. But it's always come back to the legal part of it. And if they want justice and decency in the police service, unless we don't revisit Akil Chambers and give that boy justice, because that is the highest level of corruption in the police service that took place there, is the highest level of political interference, and that is where everything started from. So the police felt that, something like this could happen in Trinidad and Tobago and we could cover it up. A politician could use his office to cover it up. And it just goes to show that this little innocent, poor boy was just, it come the same way like what's taking place now. The lives of these young fellas, them, doesn't matter. So Akil Chamber wasn't an issue. His life didn't matter. So they cover up that. And now the police feel that they could do whatever they want from day one, and the politicians think that they could ever do whatever they want from day one, and that is where we are today. That is the problem in Trinidad and Tobago. So let it don't protest and play that dotish with this raising a hand and thing about this Samaru fella. Because you have more like that to come. Have a good morning, gentlemen. Enjoy the rest of the day.
Thank you very much. Your point well taken. Point well taken.
But Andy, before I could respond to your original
before you respond to that, let me just take this one more. Go ahead, Owasa researcher.
Quick, because I was just morning.
Yes, go ahead.
Listening to the news with the opposition and calling for the three housing ministers to resign and thing.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel that'd be more appropriate for the opposition to call for the Homeland Security to be fired. You understand? Again, I not supported this government, but I feel I would agree with them if it was for them to fire the Homeland Security Minister. That is my contribution this morning.
Wow. Lennox Smith, yes, go ahead.
They should fire themselves. All right, let's go for the break. And when we come back, of course, we will deal with the call for the three ministers in the Ministry of Housing to be fired by the opposition.
Carnival Stories. Carnival Stories. History in motion. Panorama from steel to symphony.
The steel pan was once outlawed. Beaten oil drums forged into music by communities with little but creativity. By the 1940s and 50s, steel bands were the voice of the people. Street music, rebellion in rhythm. Then came panorama, competition, composition, and the transformation of street sound into national art. What began in pan yards now fills the savannah with symphonies of steel. Pan is not just an instrument, it is invention turned into identity.
Carnival Stories. Carnival Stories. Soundtrack of a nation. Carnival Stories on Talk City 91.1 FM.
Your stories, your communities, your country. TTT News is everywhere, on the ground, across Trinidad and Tobago, and on every smart device. When it matters, we're there, reporting the news as it happens. Because your world can't wait. Your world moves fast, so do we. TTT News brings you the people, events, and issues that matter most. Stay informed, stay ahead. TTT News, every night at 7. TTT News, committed, accurate, relevant.
After Carnival, TNT, the show you all been waiting for. Laugh till your belly busts. In partnership with Talk City 91.1 FM and TTT Limited, 28th of February at Napa, Port of Spain. Showtime, 8 p.m. sharp. Come see the funniest guys on the planet and the man who took social media by storm, Victor St. Louis, a.k.a. Pelp.
You know, things so hard right now in Trinidad. You know, a store in town, no fire, 2 mannequin.
All his funny friends. Kenneth Superstar, the greatest storytime teller ever. Shaquille, Louis Spider-Man Antoine, Andrew Friday, The Saint.
Listen, me you know, first it's so expensive. I went and priced a plate there. You know, they're telling me $10,000 for a plate. I say, only no sauces.
And Paniska is back.
Stop it, honey. Don't bring out the dog in me, you know. I better scrape you.
Get those tickets now. Ronnie and Caro, Mascot, Maraval Road, Port of Spain, Bruce Bar, St. Augustine, and islandetickets.com. For ticket hotlines, call 278-5892, 316-0814, 382-9986. Laugh till your belly busts.
This Valentine's Day on Talk City 91.1, we're talking about real love.
Not the fairy tales, not the perfect endings, but the love that comes after heartbreak.
Join us for Second Chances, Love After Heartbreak.
If you've loved and lost.
If you've survived divorce.
Or a long relationship.
And somehow found love again. We want to hear your story because love doesn't always start perfectly, but sometimes the second time means even more.
Call in, share your journey, inspire someone who still believes. Second Chances, Love After Heartbreak.
Only on Talk City 91.1 FM. Real conversations, real life, real love. On Monday 9th to Friday 13th February, join us for Second Chances, Love After Heartbreak.
From the moon and back, oh, I had to change my track, oh, just to see you there.
Trinidad and Tobago NGL Limited is advising all stakeholders that their 10th annual meeting has been rescheduled to Thursday, the 5th of March at the Grand Ballroom in the Hilton Hotel Conference Center.
Mass in the streets, talk in the city. Talk City 91.1.
This is Destra. Right now you're listening to Talk City 91.1. Keep it locked.
The Ground Report with Andy Williams and Lennox Smith.
Well, we are back to Trinidad and Tobago, but we can't let Lennox go into it now because we're going to the top of the hour. But we have somebody online again, so let's just take that date while we go to the top of the hour, and then we will continue. Because we don't want to kill we own, you know, our horse galloping. We don't want to kill we own horse from when we reach the finish line. Go ahead, caller. Morning.
Good morning. Go ahead.
Good morning. Out to you and the whole Ground Report crew, Brother Lennox, Mikey K. I thought, you know, I thought when I left New York 32 years ago, I ran away from the cold. But boy, Miami is so cold. I don't know, probably I had to come back to TT. But I have two small issues. Well, my sympathy goes out to that family that the young man got killed and his wife. It's very sad. No matter what side of the aisle you're on, it never. Some people, unless they don't hit home, it doesn't bother them. But as a human being, it's supposed to bother you because it could have been yours. No matter what he did, that was a real terrible killing. I want to make a comment, and because this man has been bothering me ever since he came on the scene, and that's David Abdullah. And the Prime Minister had an opportunity when she went to load that stuff to send to Jamaica for the hurricane. She should have called the authorities and put him in that same container and send him back to his homeland, Jamaica.
Nice. 10 seconds again. 10 seconds again. Before you get cut, the director will cut you.
Yeah. Okay. And the other thing is that nurse that called the mother of the girl who got shot and give her information, but the mother didn't ask her anything. She called her and tell her what the daughter was screaming out, saying that there is no gun, they're lying and they're lying. That nurse is out of place and she's going to be in big trouble. All right.
Good morning. This is your TCT News Update at 7. I'm Carrie Roberts. Making the news at this time. Minister of Homeland Security Roger Alexander has dismissed calls for his resignation, saying he remains committed to serving the country. His comments come in the wake of a protest outside the Red House on Sunday, where demonstrators called for him to step aside following a police-involved shooting that killed Joshua Samaru and left his girlfriend, Kaya Seeley, paralyzed.
And I will continue to serve my country as long as the Honorable Prime Minister gives me that portfolio to do so. Some private persons are hurting, it's an emotional call and all of these things. I continue to understand because I was here before. I was in that position that the commissioner was in before, not as a police commissioner, but as a senior police officer involved in operations. And I know, no matter what it looks like, evidence is what changes the game. Evidence is what the police need to do to bring someone before a court to be dealt with according to law.
This is what happens when a government invests in culture. The words of Minister of Culture and Community Development, Michelle Benjamin, who says the Flavor Food Village has been a major success, attracting more than 150,000 patrons so far.
This night was January 24, where we recorded over 13,000 patrons. And yes, that was our largest single night. On the 23rd of January, the night before, we recorded 11,600 patrons. And of course, these numbers was given to us by the Trinidad and Tobago Fire Service, who is hired not just to keep us safe in that space, but also to monitor the number of persons coming to these events.
She said since introducing the Flavor Food Village, more sponsors and companies have been coming on board to participate.
So much so that we have requests for persons to book venues, vendors seeking booths for 2027 Carnival. And that is an indication that there is an uptake with regards to the Carnival product and our culture.
In some sport now, head coach of the Trinidad and Tobago Under-17s men football team, Randolph Boyce, is hoping for an improved performance when his team faces St. Martin in their second CONCACAF Under-17 World Cup qualifier this evening at the Hazley Crawford Stadium. In the match set to kick off at 7 p.m., TNT would be looking to better their defeat in their opening Group A match versus Barbados on Tuesday.
Well, they're young. We definitely have to keep motivating them. We have to pick them up from where they're at now. Right, and the only thing to do is motivate them and encourage them to be able to play, because as much as we might want to win and we need to win, it's much about developing them and teaching them the right things in the right way. So it makes no sense being on them. It's just to keep motivating them as we go forward from here.
Further afield now, United Nations Secretary General Antonio Guterres has cautioned that Cuba faces a potential humanitarian collapse if its energy needs are not met, following moves by the United States to block all oil shipments to the Caribbean nation and threaten tariffs against countries that provide assistance. The warning issued on Wednesday comes as Cuba grapples with a severe fuel shortage that has led to prolonged power outages, including in Havana, and driven sharp increases in food and transportation costs. Stefan Dujarric, a spokesman for Guterres, told reporters in New York that the UN chief was extremely concerned about the humanitarian situation in Cuba, which he said will worsen if not collapse if its oil needs go unmet. Dujarric also noted that for more than 3 decades, the UN General Assembly, too, has consistently called for an end to the trade embargo imposed by the U.S. on Cuba. And that was your TTT News Update. I'm Carrie Roberts. After the break, we return to Trinidad and Tobago today.
That was TTT News on Talk City 91.1 FM.
Talk City 91.1 FM. Talk.
This is about creating opportunity through responsible management and citizen participation in national wealth. We are targeting US $3 billion in new investment within the next few years in energy, in construction, in tourism, and the digital economy.
Music.
It's reconstruction time in Trinidad, so put your shoulder to the wheel and lad, move on, don't stop till you reach the top. You put a hand and I put a hand and we will see. For big and for small in no time at all, prosperity. There's no other way to do it. Show your patriotic spirit, unity. Somehow, if Trinidad ever needed you, is now.
Culture.
The budget has goodies and some not so goodies, but that is because fairness requires that everyone plays their part.
Engaging conversations, latest news, our music. This is Talk City 91.1 FM.
These are not just stories, they are the echoes of who we are, passed down in voices, in silence, and in memory. From the heart of the Caribbean, where history, mystery, and magic meet, this is Echoes of Our Folklore. Echoes of Our Folklore. Your weekly journey into the legends, stories, and whispers of our islands. Brought to you by Talk City 91.1 FM. The MoJambi is one of the most iconic figures in Trinidad and Tobago's folklore, especially during Carnival. Standing tall on towering stilts, the MoJambi rises above the crowd, watching over the community as a symbol of protection and spiritual strength. Its roots reach back to African spiritual traditions, where the MoJambi was believed to be a guardian spirit, a warning presence against danger and misfortune. Today, that legacy lives on through Carnival, as MoJambis move gracefully through the streets in colorful, elaborate costumes, representing resilience, pride, and cultural heritage. More than spectacle, the MoJambi traditionally engages with the crowd, collecting coins and strengthening the bands of community that define the season. In folklore, the MoJambi also stands as a defense against malevolent spirits, Jambis such as the Duen, Lagahu, and Sukuya. Alongside this guardian figure, protective customs like placing salt, garlic, or rice at doorways, wearing silver jewelry, and displacing spiritual symbols have long been practiced. Together, these traditions remind us that Carnival is not just celebration, it is living history. Another tale from our islands, reminding us that the past, the spirits, and the stories of our ancestors are never far away. You've been listening to Echoes of Our Folklore. Echoes of Our Folklore. Only on Talk City 91.1 FM.
Your stories, your communities, your country. TTT News is everywhere, on the ground, across Trinidad and Tobago, and on every smart device. When it matters, we're there, reporting the news as it happens. Because your world can't wait. Your world moves fast, so do we. TTT News brings you the people, events, and issues that matter most. Stay informed, stay ahead. TTT News, every night at 7. TTT News, committed, accurate, relevant.
Talk City 91.1. Thought-provoking conversations, bold perspectives, voices you trust. Listen on 91.1 FM and connect on Facebook, YouTube, and TikTok. New shows, new features, big giveaways. Talk City 91.1. Your city, your voice.
After Carnival, TNT, the show you all been waiting for. Laugh till your belly busts. In partnership with Talk City 91.1 FM and TTT Limited, 28th of February at Napa, Port of Spain. Showtime, 8 p.m. sharp. Come see the funniest guys on the planet and the man who took social media by storm. Victor St. Louis, a.k.a. Pelp.
You know, things so hard right now in Trinidad. You know, a store in town, no fire, 2 mannequin.
All his funny friends. Kenneth Superstar, the greatest story time teller ever. Shaquille, Louis Spider-Man Antoine, Andrew Friday, The Saint.
Okay, me no first it's so expensive. I went and priced a plate there. You know, they're telling me $10,000 for a plate. I say, oh, there are no sauces.
And Paniska is back.
Stop it, honey. Don't bring out the dog in me, you know. I better scrape you.
Get those tickets now. Ronnie and Caro, Mascap, Maraval Road, Port of Spain, Bruce Bar, St. Augustine, and islandetickets.com. For ticket hotlines, call 278-5892, 316-0814, 382-9986. Laugh till your belly busts.
This Valentine's season, Talk City 91.1 FM celebrates second chances at love. Were you divorced, heartbroken, widowed, and thought love was over until it found you again? Share your story on air in just 1 or 2 minutes. Tell us how you healed, how long it took, and how love returned. Respectfully, honestly, and from the heart. Daily winners will be selected with a grand prize winner announced on Friday, February 13th. Second chances. Love after heartbreak. Only on Talk City 91.1.
I dey carry your water from the moon and back, oh. I dey change my track, oh, just to see you there.
AT&T Fet season needs a proper phone. Grab a Samsung A06 for $99 or A07 for $199 with a postpaid My Choice plan. Limited time offer. You don't want to miss out on this deal. Head to Digicel store now.
From Canberra to Carnival, this is Talk City 91.1. Any views or opinions expressed on the ground report are solely those of the hosts and callers and do not represent the views, policies, or official position of Talk City 91.1, its management, or affiliates.
This is Destra, and right now you're listening to Talk City 91.1. Keep it locked.
6 a.m. to 9 a.m. Join Andy Williams and Lennox Smith, the Ground Report team, as they rip apart the lies, half-truth, and misinformation that the mainstream media never discuss. The Ground Report. Hard-hitting, informative, undiluted, uncompromising, and unfiltered. Monday to Friday. Get the raw facts before making any life-changing decisions. Only on The Ground Report.
The Ground Report. The Ground Report.
The government of Trinidad and Tobago is not closing down Petrotrin.
The Ground Report. The Ground Report.
I would think that there's been very clear that all the employees of Petrotrin will exit the company. All.
The Ground Report with Andy Williams and Lennox Smith.
Oh boy. We are back. Time check. It's 12 minutes past the hour of 7 o'clock, and you are listening to the Ground Report on Talk City 91.1 FM. Nice. Galaxy Core 100 is saying, Andy, did you hear Phillips' nasty comments about carnage? No, I did not. PNM didn't care about the crime in TNT under Rowley and Hines before. All right, that's on social media. Well, I'll just read out some of the social media posts here before Lennox Smith go into why they are calling on the heads of the 3 housing ministers, Dr. David Lee, Senator Arnold Roberts, and Philip Alexander. Why they calling on their head? No, you know what I don't understand? When the police shoot thieves, guys, no probe come out. And protest only Mr. Alexander did. And protest only Mr. Alexander did, and some people, or only Mr. Alexander did, and some people with him. But because one of the girl in the protesting is her friend, so the boys was nothing, no problem. Right, short writing. I really can't understand all waiting there. Right, but let me go down now into yes, Lennox Smith. Why are they calling for the heads of the various of those three ministers to be?
Yes, well, of course, as you know, is politics. The opposition is calling for their heads, but it is as a consequence of a statement that would have been made. Probably, well, I don't want to put myself in the minister's shoes. Let me just state the facts that he was not aware that there was a policy position where if you are selling to your relative HGC house or asset, that it will attract a 5% transfer fee, right? Conveyance fee. And if it is, if you are selling your HGC asset to a stranger, then it will attract 10%. And that question was asked. What we learned subsequently, however, is that the information was leaked. And of course, I learned that from putting together the timing of the question to the minister, the substantive minister, David Lee, and the response to the calls for resignation by Philip Alexander. He said that he was aware of the policy, but was not aware that it was in fact in the public space or actual policy. So subsequently, of course, the substantive minister, David Lee, said, well, why he made that statement, he sort of rescinded it by stating, well, all right, it is in fact something that was being discussed, but it was not yet supposed to be in the public space. So there is a call for a probe into how that information was leaked, because somebody must have done it, and it is in that circumstance the opposition is saying, well, listen, since the right hand don't know what the left hand do, the substantive minister is unaware, and therefore there is some kind of misinformation, disinformation, disconnect. People simply don't know what is happening in the ministry. On that incident, on that basis, they all should resign. I mean, I find it I find it strange because I want to say this, that when the sale of Neil and Marcy Communications entity was consummated by the board of the telecommunications. Remember that?
Yeah.
I'm talking about B Mobile.
Massive communication.
Right. Yeah. The cabinet was not aware at all, but over $200 million was spent on that. And of course, the head of NH International, Dr. Rowley's proclaimed friend, said that he had no obligation to communicate, and the entire cabinet was unaware. We saw as well subsequently that the Vincent Nelson matter, when of course two former ministers were in fact charged. Dr. Rowley and they were saying that they weren't aware, even though there's evidence to the contrary, and even when of course the Petrotrin was slated to be fragmented. They said that it was the board responsibility and not the government. And then, of course, I think the creme de la creme, the one that sparks all or beat all of those, is when, of course, Marlene MacDonald was charged. The late Marlene MacDonald was charged, and of course, the Prime Minister, as head of the national security apparatus or system, said, "Listen, I wasn't aware of any of that." So it appears that in these high offices, there may be, from time to time, that's my conclusion, that people may not be aware of something that may be afoot, or if they are aware, the timing may be skewed, and therefore, when they are posed with these questions by the media, is a sort of a shock revelation, and I don't know how you could address that, but the minister said, well, he wasn't aware, and here it is. The opposition is now calling for all of them to resign.
Nice. Oh boy, just now let me just organize and play this voice note there. Let's play one or two quick voice notes. Get it out of the way very quick.
And we have to understand.
Morning to the Magnificent Tree. Let me tell you something about this police killing. Since in the 1970s, police killing people just so. You remember the time when it had the Black Power movement. It had people who get killed just so. I know guy here would get shoot in the river bathing, and he didn't have a gun in his hand. And they say, well, we had a gun in his hand. Oh, I know that. I had a police partner, who was there, and he told me that they shoot Guy Herod in the river bathing just, right? So I ain't talking what I know. I'm talking from a sergeant who tell me that, right? So it always had that. But the thing is now, they calling for Mr. Guevara to resign, right? When he resign, who they gonna put? Mr. Samaru as the next commissioner of police? Maybe he might do a good job because his son, they say, get murder. He was no criminal. He was no bandit. He never run from the police. All what he do, he drive away from the police. And wasn't his fault. It's the car X that stick. And he was trying to stop, but he couldn't stop because the car X stick now. And when he swing there and he go down inside the drain with his speed, then the car cut off. And then the police know the X stick. So them come and kill him thinking he run away from them. But the poor boy wasn't running away. Because what he sense he go run away from the police when he ain't do nothing. You understand what I'm saying? So we have to understand the mix. Thank you, brother.
Thank you so much. Oh boy, Patricia Reed is saying...
don't forget, we have two calls here.
Go ahead.
Go ahead, caller. Welcome to the studios of 91.1 Talk City.
Andy, good morning. Andy, I went back and I watched the debate. And I think it was Monday or Tuesday. And Mr. Awari, I mean, something wrong with that guy, man. The guy sounds like he's so guilty of stealing all the money. I mean, they're not stealing, but, getting all the money from the government and nobody gets nothing. And the guy is so guilty, man. He sounds so guilty. And I don't understand why the PNM sent a child to do a man's work. None of them could debate, like Anil Roberts, and they're always complaining. If you do not know how to debate, why are the PNM sending people who do not know how to debate? Debate is bringing your points across and factual points and getting it and making sure that people hear the points. So I don't know. Awari, boy, they really get rich out of the government. But wow, get rich out of the government. And all those PNM ministers. You don't hear Foster Cummins going to say nothing. He stay quiet because he know Babylon boops is coming on him. All right, later, Andy, bye. Andy, good morning. Andy, Trinidad, if you breaks, right? Influx of Cuba now. Cuban is going to come to Trinidad. Because right now, what the sanction of a blockade fuel going to Cuba, because then Cuba want to Trinidad now too. Trinidad is becoming a Spanish country. We got to start reading, learning, speaking Spanish. Because the big man is the one who's doing all that here, making people suffer. And you guys love that. Talk to you later.
Nice. I'm going to continue on this side here. Quick.
Morning, everybody here. So, Lennox did mention my name and something I said, but let me clear it up. And bear with me, Andy, because ideas rule mankind and words have power. So, Lennox was talking about power and authority and the differences politically in politics. So, in democracy, that word comes from two Greek words: demos, people; kratos, power. Literally means people's power. Kratos, power. They even have a god that they worship called Kratos, which was the definition of power. And power in politics now is supposed to be something that is inherent, cannot be given and cannot be taken away. Authority, however, can be given and can be taken away. So authority is granted by power. So in politics, in democracy, and certainly in Republican concepts, people must have the power inherent. They're born with it. Inalienable right, as the Americans like to say in their constitution, to grant authority to government. That power cannot be granted and cannot be taken away. You are born with it as a citizen. And the example I drew is, I have the power to grant authority to a plumber to come into my home and do work. It's supposed to be that the people have the power to grant authority to a government, again, to do work. But is that what happens? No, Lennox Smith kind of gave away the game. He said, we granted the government power. We gave the government power, right, when we voted them in a general election. And forever and a day, we've heard media use that word, government and power, right? That's the concept. Ideas rule mankind. So we have to be careful when we say these things. Lennox Smith is correct. We do give power to the government after a general election. That's why we are powerless in the creation of law out here. And we've seen demonstrations of that recently. Because after the general election, we are no longer in the halls of power. We have surrendered our power when in fact we should have been granting authority. And that's the problem. That's the problem I've suggested. The fix to is proportional representation. Because if you have individual groups representing the different interests and ideologies of many different groups in society, in the halls of power where we create law is everything in a country. Law speaks things into existence. Even religiously, we see the word, we often speak of the word having, power. If we are not involved in the creation of law, then we are not involved in power. I know that Smith are not talking about direct democracy where everybody sits in parliament. I'm talking about a proper and better representation of the people in a representative democracy where several groups are represented in the parliament, and we are not just surrendering power to a mega party after they win a general election to hopefully do what is good for us. I'm talking about as many representative groups in parliament in the place of power who would daily grant authority to an executive to carry out our will for us. So the power of the people must be separated from the executive authority of the country. And that will be the cure to the imbalance of power in our country as it stands now.
Nice. Nobody, next time, oh God, boy, don't make it a 4 minutes, try to sting it in too.
Yes, Andy, and that's why we have to go for the break. When we come back more on this edition of the Ground Report.
If you are a migrant currently living in Trinidad and Tobago without legal immigration status, this message is for you. The government of Trinidad and Tobago has introduced a special registration process for migrants who have overstayed or entered the country illegally. The online registration process will begin from Monday 26th of January and end on Wednesday 25th of February 2026. All applicants are first required to register through the official portal at migrantregistration.gov.tt. That's migrantregistration.gov.tt. After completing the online registration, there will be a mandatory in-person processing and verification which begins at the end of February 2026. The start date for that phase will be announced through official government channels. The in-person registration will take place at the Hazley Crawford Stadium, Port of Spain, the Atto Bolden Stadium in Balmain, Couva, and the Larry Gown Stadium in Malabar, Arima, as well as the Dwight York Stadium, Bacalet, Scarborough, Tobago. Applicants will undergo a comprehensive verification process, which will include vetting by the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service involving fingerprinting and background checks. You will also be required to undergo basic medical screening. Upon completion of the registration process, successful applicants will be required to pay $700 for the migrant registration card. The ministry reminds undocumented migrants your participation in this exercise is essential, as failure to register during this window will result in deportation. This special registration process for migrants is your opportunity to be documented, protected, and allowed to work legally in Trinidad and Tobago for a defined period. For additional instructions, along with online application and required forms, visit the official portal at migrantregistration.gov.tt. That's migrantregistration.gov.tt. This message brought to you by the Ministry of Homeland Security and the Information Division, Office of the Prime Minister.
Your news anytime, anywhere. TTT News brings you the facts that matter most. On air and online. More ways to stay informed. TTT News covers the stories that matter. Join us nightly at 7. TTT News. Committed, accurate, relevant.
This Valentine's Day on Talk City 91.1, we're talking about real love.
Not the fairy tales, not the perfect endings, but the love that comes after heartbreak.
Join us for Second Chances, Love After Heartbreak.
If you've loved and lost.
If you've survived divorce.
Or a long relationship.
And somehow found love again. We want to hear your story, because love doesn't always start perfectly, but sometimes the second time means even more.
Call in, share your journey, inspire someone who still believes. Second Chances, Love After Heartbreak.
Only on Talk City 91.1 FM. Real conversations, real life, real love. On Monday 9th to Friday 13th February, join us for Second Chances, Love After Heartbreak.
From the moon and back, oh, I did change my track, oh, just to see you there.
Talk City 91.1. Thought-provoking conversations, bold perspectives, voices you trust. Listen on 91.1 FM and connect on Facebook, YouTube, and TikTok. New shows, new features, big giveaways. Talk City 91.1. Your city, your voice.
Don't let the flu season slow you down. As Carnival approaches, the Ministry of Health is urging the public to take action now. Influenza can cause severe illness, hospitalization, and even death, especially in older adults, children, pregnant women, and persons with chronic conditions. But vaccination can help reduce severe illness. Crowded events, late nights, and close contact can increase the risk of spreading the virus. Don't wait until you're sick. Get vaccinated today. Influenza vaccine is available free at all health centers and vaccination sites nationwide. Visit the ministry's social media pages for more information. Protect yourself, protect others, get your flu shot today. A message from the Ministry of Health.
Are you looking to take your business to the next level? Let Talk City 91.1 FM help you reach thousands of potential customers daily. Our sales team is ready to craft the perfect advertising package just for you. Contact our sales department at 622-4141, extension 2601, 2602, 2605, and 2607, or email info@ttt.co.tt for unbeatable advertising opportunities with Talk City 91.1 FM.
This is Destra, and right now you're listening to Talk City 91.1. Keep it locked.
The Ground Report with Andy Williams and Lennox Smith.
Oh boy, we are back. Time check is 34 minutes past the hour. And yes, we have our next break to go on before again. When we talk about snipes, we really have to deal with it. I know I'm saying, we defeating the purpose.
Bang, 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 bang.
Lennox Smith, I show you reading between the lines, eh?
Yes.
Defeating the purpose.
I don't think that would have been lost to the general public as well as those who interact on a daily basis or intend to or are willing to. So,
yeah. So
Yeah.
before you go, you call me. So before you go, call me. Let us
I'll call you. I have a little problem with the phone. That's why I didn't call you yesterday.
All right.
I should get that rectified today. But I think I might be able to do. Or maybe the reverse should be the case. You should call me.
Yeah,
after.
I will.
Okay. All right.
Let me take a call. Oh boy. So I know let me call it things short and sweet. We have to try to push in, and it's like
as much as we can with the limited window that we have.
And like a trainer, athlete, you warm up, and before you even go to get placed on the football field, you get back home because the referee taking so long to acknowledge you stand up on the sidelines. And that just going to be defeating the purpose. Morning caller, where are you calling from? And what's your contribution on the ground report this morning?
Good morning, Andy and Lennox. Good morning. This is Martin inside. One topic, one issue. Why are these people opening their mouth with HTC increase in fees and things like that? I want people to understand. It had somebody they call comings and goings. And his family was buying property and they was transferring it. So I want to know if this is to deflect that it have more like them with a protocol like that former Minister of Youth. I just want to know because there are a lot of properties all over these HCD development is abandoned, etc. is taken and rented and things like that. There must be a deeper dive into it, and I believe they are unearthing a lot of corruption within HGC, just like how the 4 containers of oil went from Vincot. I go and have a nice morning.
Thank you very much. Next caller, pleasant good morning to you. Where are you calling from? And what's your contribution on the ground report this morning?
Morning, Lennox. Morning, Andy. Morning, Snipe.
Good morning.
I just want to say, I was listening to Mr. Day, and I think when the people of the country voting on government, right? And I don't understand why it does work so and how it does work. But if the people that vote in the government say, here what? We don't want this tax. I think the government's supposed to listen because we put all it there or have some kind of conversation with the people and say, here what? This is why we need to put in these taxes. At the beginning of your term, after 1, 2 months, you're supposed to know the state of the economy. You come to the people, and this is not the budget where they have an estimate with revenue and right. You come into the people and say, here what? You bring your graphs and you bring your people. This is what we met when we come in here. We meet $100, right? And we need $200 to run the country efficiently. And this is what we intend to do, right? To raise, yes, people know, but explain to the people why you need to raise the tax and not just raise tax on people just like that. When we put you there, you were saying you're going to bring down tax, you're going to do this, you're going to do that. And okay, you're saying you didn't, some things you didn't know because you was not in power, so you didn't have but as you're reaching and you see the state of the economy, you're supposed to say, here, what people, this is what we met, this is what we have to do. Don't just do it in the middle of the night. You come in just on raising taxes. You come in just on doing things. And most of the people I show, many of the same people who put the government there is very upset with the government right now. And people have to understand, unless our government will come and tell the people the truth, they will always be the lie and they're just putting on things on people. Because you're just raising tax and you're not explaining, okay, we need the revenue. We're not getting the revenue that we wanted from the oil. So we need only bear with me a little while. We're putting on this tax. Because at the end of the day, as I say, raise alcohol tax. If the people stop buying alcohol, you have no tax to collect. Right? You raise it, if you raise fines on the tickets, fine. If people do the crime, they have no fines to collect. No money to collect there. So you have to be kind of understanding on how you're doing things too. You know, passport and things, somebody license and things some people have to go and do. So you raise the tax there without an explanation why you're doing it as much. You're saying, but because the cost of doing it. Then you come and say, okay, the plastic went up from $5 to $10, so we have to raise the cost of the plastic, of the getting your license. None of these things are just putting on things on people with no justification. And I think this is all the people would need to know. A little justification, why you have to raise the taxes on them like that. That's all enough. A little justification.
Nice. Thank you very much. Next caller. Short and sweet. Morning caller. We're calling from. What's your contribution on the ground report this morning? Already hole is very, very
Andy,
small.
good morning.
Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, let me just slow down the volume here. I have my TV playing loud with all the program. Yeah. I just want to say something. Everybody call and get complaining about the government. And the government should let go the 3 minister of housing. Right? Ministers. And about tax and about this and that. When they was voting, they didn't think until they wanted change. So the government is changing the country. If I have a home and I have some rugged children in my home, and my laws and rules and everything have to change in my home, it's the same way with the country. We have a government who is for the people, and it amazes me to see how most of these African people, well, not most, sorry about that. Some of these African people who campaigned with the UNC, going against the UNC because the UNC not ruling in their favor, and blaming the UNC, they lost a job. They lost this, they lost that. So on the road, they wasn't hungry and starving. And some of the Indian, they wasn't hungry and starving. Already going on with what Rowley say, right? But now it's about tax and it's about this and it's about that with all you. But Kamala had to stand tall and strong and do what you have to do for the betterment of Trinidad and Tobago. If you want investors to come in our country, if you want foreigners to come here and cause a tourist attraction, etc., etc., you had to get rid of these things. Crime, murder, all these things, you have to get rid of it. Right? If you want a better country and you want me to move on forward. So some of you who I just listen to this program and so I just get angry with these people. 1 minute they hear, the next minute they hear. They don't even know if they're going to come and always blaming this government, but they never blame the other government. For how they had all this suffering. Okay, Andy.
All right, thank you very much. Oh boy, I like how it is because it said to come across to me is in bad taste when you come with that some of them African people thing. But then I get back a good taste when you mention that some of the, which I get what you mean, some of the African and Indian people in the minority that support the UNC complaining now. Don't ever say African without putting the Indians in that too. Don't do that. Make sure you put all two because Trinidad and Tobago is both African and Indian. If you leave out one, it coming across to me very offensive. Because it's African. But you correct yourself and I like that. Let's continue Trinidad and Tobago. Short and sweet. Go ahead, caller. Time. Before you see the trend cut. Go ahead.
Good morning to the ground report.
You have exactly 1 minute. Go ahead.
Let me call back because you got too short.
All right, no problem. Next caller, pleasant good morning to you. Where you calling from? And what's your contribution on the ground report this morning?
Good morning, Pitbull. Good morning.
Granny, you have 1 minute. You have 1 minute to try to wrap up. Go ahead.
God bless you and God bless all you on that station. This man let us keep begging on radio station. He gone last night on a radio station. And he talking about the UNC and calling name and calling and saying how Jilly John doing contract work by the Carnival Bridge and how Indians only getting work there. And he talking UNC bad and talking the government bad. He's the one that's on all the station begging. I don't know why they go to work. Thank you very much, boy. I'm so upset with this man on all them stations talking about UNC.
Thank you very much. Next one, man. Next one. Morning caller.
Andy, good morning to you, Lennox, Mikey, Nigel, and to everybody out there. Andy, you know, I'm hearing everybody talking, blaming. Now, I am no flag bearer of Vandana Mohit, right? But blaming her for what's going on in social welfare. Andy, I've been there and I went through it and I know what is going on in that place. As I keep saying, the government has changed, but the mindset of the people in those offices are still there. Some of these social welfare officers feel that their father left that money there for them, all right? And they are playing God as to who should get it and who shouldn't get it. They give people a lot of run around, but you have to keep going and checking the offices. Now it's almost the process takes almost a year to complete, almost a year. So if you didn't get it when the PNM was in office, right? All you wanted them to wave a magic wand now and clear up everything. It's a long process, and you heard us saying that. How many backlogs they had. But it's very, very unfair to be blaming her. And as I said, I am not a flag bearer for her. But it's very unfair because some of us who went through the system, we know what it is going on. Andy, they put a wrong name on my own. You hear? And if I was persistent and keep checking, we would never have known what was going on. Some of these officers, as I said, feel that their father left it for them, and some of them playing God. Who should be getting it and who should not be getting it? You have to be down to the bare minimum for them to feel that, look, I can get it. You hear? Andy, I remembered somebody telling me that they went to the welfare office. And because he's diabetic, Andy, he's diabetic, he lost a couple of toes and so. And because he had a soft drink in his hand, they refused to give it to him because they say he's not taking care of himself. But what these ignoramus and them fail to realize, if you're diabetic and you get a bad feeling, what you're supposed to do? You have to have something sweet to drink. So they judge him by that soft drink in his hand. I tell you, they're playing God. That is why they don't give up. Only be vigilant and keep checking the offices. Thanks, Andy.
Oh boy, next one.
Morning, Andy. Good morning. And yeah, I agree with that call. I said it yesterday. I sent a message concerning that the government have to come out and say what they met and talk about how the state of the finances is after they come in from the PNM malpractices and so on. And got the ship sinking. So they have to come out and talk. They're just raising taxes and they're saying nothing. So again, people are vexed. You know what I'm saying? Have a good day. Look to understand.
Thank you. Next, if you stick, you get the click.
Good morning. Again, Mikey, Lennox, and Andy. Well, Andy and Lennox, the problem is in this whole scenario with the government and the people and the citizens is only one factor, you know. I believe the factor is communication. And if they don't have that communication with the people, no matter what you do, it will, if you're doing good, it will assume to be doing bad. And if they're doing bad, it will assume to be doing good. Because they have no communication. They're just doing things like you're not sure what is going on. So let me see if we could get some kind of communication with the people on the ground and above the ground, as they would say. And the country might move better and faster. Blessings.
I agree with you 100%. That's why it have programs like the Ground Report. It have programs as Stefan and Mr. X and all those various programs. And again, we will be hitting those various ministers, letting them know that we need them to advertise and bring the communications necessary to the people. Because what is really and truly lacking, why people are angry, is communications. Yes, all I go do like communications and now and again, whether it be all the press conferences, this, that, no. All the other that mass communication, because not everybody go listen to a cabinet press conference, or if it is the ministers and they want to give an update to the public at the headquarters of the
UN says the case maybe. We have to go for the break. We can take a call. We have a call here as well. But yeah, the information has to be overwhelming. Overwhelming.
And this government is being accused plain out of not having their information coming out. Overwhelming. But it's been put in place.
Yes. Let's go for the let's take this call. Pastor, good morning. Good morning to you, my friend.
Morning, Trinidad and Tobago. Well, you know, look at the beat. Let me tell you something. Look at the table. Look at the house is drum. Just how the beat that skate, the shade, and the shade, and the shade. All the beat all the drum and then you all yourself. All you have to take that until 2030. So much all out around this country. All you have to take that till 2030. When 2030, then we go talk about change. But right now, that one who called in about 2-3 calls ago, I know him is a PNM stooge. I know him living up by me. Talking, you will start all the time. All you have to take that until 2030. Go on.
Nigel, take it.
But of course, we have to go for a break. Yeah. Unfortunately, we have to go for the break, and it is part of the hazards of the mission.
Lennox, can I ask you a question?
Yeah, go ahead. Yes.
What is a stooge?
Well, someone who hubbles unnecessarily.
Oh God!
Carnival Stories. History in motion. Carnival Stories, brought to you with the compliments of Lion, the power behind our great taste traditions.
The Borriquite. The Borriquite, from the Spanish word burriquito, means little donkey, is a classic carnival character made from bamboo and wood, creating the illusion of a dancer riding a small donkey, reins in hand. This tradition has roots in East Indian Hindu culture and the South American mainland, particularly Venezuela. The costume features a colored paper donkey's head on a bamboo frame, a long satin skirt for the body, and a sistal tail, often decorated with flowers. The rider wears a satin shirt and a matador's or straw hat. As guitars, cuatros, and shak-shaks play, the performer mimics the playful antics of a donkey, prancing, bowing, and teasing the crowd. This dance, known as the Borriquite, originated in Venezuela and remains a lively part of our carnival heritage.
Carnival Stories, where culture meets the road. You've been listening to Carnival Stories, brought to you with the compliments of Lion, the power behind our great taste traditions.
Iron Brand always had a plan, giving great taste all across the land. Polori, fry, bake, roti, and doubles too, made with great taste just for me and you. All through the year and all season, the Lion Brand is the reason. When the Lion Brand in the kitchen, we know to mix and move, we're gonna mix and move.
This carnival season, mix and move with the Lion brand of products. The power behind our great taste traditions.
With the Lion brand.
Talk City 91.1. Thought-provoking conversations, bold perspectives, voices you trust. Listen on 91.1 FM and connect on Facebook, YouTube, and TikTok. New shows, new features, big giveaways. Talk City 91.1. Your city, your voice. Where Carnival meets conversation. Talk City 91.1.
This is Destra. Right now you're listening to Talk City 91.1. Keep it locked. Bang, 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 bang.
The Ground Report with Andy Williams and Lennox Smith.
Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. I and all kinds of play much going report promotions at all. Because the time, the space is very, very, very small. And again, I want to 100% agree with callers out there that is saying that this government, our government, needs to get their communications and their message out there overwhelmingly. It is a fact. Because we all know that they are fighting against mainstream media, whether it be the CNC3 or the TV6, the Express, the Newsday. Well, what's yet? Well, you say close down here, but what's yet? The Guardian. It is what it is.
We must note that there is also that factor of a well-oiled propaganda machinery that has demonstrated itself over and over in the bosom of the PN or in the hands of the PNM.
I must congratulate
in the opposition, because somebody may not be a member of the PNM and still, of course, would not be in sync or opposed to what is happening or what the government is doing, and therefore in a position to twist and to turn and to malign and to propagate something that doesn't exist. And therefore the government has the responsibility to disabuse and to set the record straight, so to speak. And it must be overwhelming.
It must be overwhelming. But I must say that the board of directors of TTT, its chairman Michael Kerr, CEO, all of them, they are doing a great job in trying to disseminate the government information out there through programs like the Ground Report, like Off the Record, like Taken in Front with Shabadi, you know, like we boy there in the wheelchair. Oh gosh. But all these various people in the evening with Fitz and Sudat and all those various things. But we need they are doing a very, very good job. But it's now overall, for the ministries.
Clearly, there's a need for further intensification because, again, of the counterbalance or those who are set in their minds and have, of course, similar and equal, if not a little more, edge in terms of countering the information that would emanate from the government side. Because there are, let's face it, there are enemies out there in every nook and cranny, and therefore one has to acknowledge that, and therefore your strategy to overcome that is to, of course, be overwhelming and intense. Because all of the information that we are getting from persons who are claiming that the government didn't say this and didn't say that, if they listen to the debates, you would have, if you pay attention and you go back to some of it that would still be in the public space, you would see that all of those things were just or were addressed.
Yeah, but the government needs to
they said what they met there over and over in the debate.
And people don't know.
People don't listen to that.
Correct. And
the government, and therefore you have to find other mechanisms.
The government had to find a mechanism to make sure people will listen, because people would not go on the parliamentation. They're not going to listen to no debate.
That's the point.
They're not going to listen to no news or wherever it go. So they had to find ways and means to get the message out. It is what it is.
It has to be in the face. It has to be in the face. Even if you have to take bullhorn as we used to and go in every community.
Go ahead, caller. You have exactly
Good morning,
1 minute.
Andy. Good morning, Lennox.
1 minute.
This thing about communication by the government communicating properly, partner. People not listening. It have people like nobody and them taking the cues from the PNM and trying to push propaganda. How come all of us these PNM people vote UNC?
All right.
What are them saying they vote UNC?
Listen, to be fair to the public, nobody not saying that the government is not giving the information or the information that they're giving is not accurate and cool or if it go. What we are saying, which I agree with, is that we have to, the government have to try other ways to get the message out even more. So more of the population will know. They are being stifled by the PNM mainstream media. It's like two mainstream medias against one. Understand? And it's not everybody like Kalaloo. Not everybody like Cuckoo. Not everybody like Saltfish. Not everybody like Dashi. Not everybody like rice.
Andy, unfortunately, we have to apologize to that caller. We have to pause. We have to go for the news. And when we come back, more.
Good morning, this is your TTT News Update. I'm Carrie Roberts. Making the news at this time. The Ministry of Foreign and CARICOM Affairs says Prime Minister Kamla Persad-Bissessa's first official overseas visit to the United States delivered immediate and measurable benefits for Trinidad and Tobago while positioning the country for renewed growth, strong partnerships, and enhanced security. This is in response to questions to the Prime Minister raised by opposition Senator Dr. Amory Brown in the Senate. In a statement on Wednesday, the ministry noted that details of the visit were provided to the opposition in a written response at the Senate sitting on February 3rd. The 9-day mission, held during the UN General Assembly High-Level Week and engagements in Washington, D.C., was conducted under strict fiscal discipline, costing just over $1.1 million. According to the ministry, the visit resulted in concrete outcomes, including U.S. support for cross-border energy projects, new investment interest from Gulf states, progress on a reciprocal trade agreement with the United States, strengthened security cooperation, a TT $94 million grant from China, expanded air links with Africa, visa-free travel arrangements with the UAE, and new diplomatic partnerships. The ministry says the mission reflects a results-driven, people-centered foreign policy focused on delivering real returns for citizens. In other news, the competition to crown the King and Queen of Carnival 2026 got underway on Wednesday evening at the Carnival City in the Queen's Park Savannah, marking the official start of one of Carnival's most anticipated showcases of creativity and craftsmanship.
Chanel Brazan, the band is Moko Somoko, the portrayal I Am Africa, the presentation The Children of Oya in the African category.
Which cross the three rivers between life and the realm of spirit. From the rocks and the rivers to the golden plains, she carries the
complete transition in the music from the traditional soca.
Yes. Scores of competitors in both the King and Queen category crossed the Savannah stage, with quite a few of them following the trend of portraying on stilts. One of them was Osira, the ancient water dragon from the band K-Sac Entertainment.
This is another one on stilts. So just to provide a bit of history for those of you all who are locked on to TTT Live Online in collaboration with WAC 90.1 FM, stilts originated thousands of years ago, with evidence pointing to ancient China, Egypt, and Greece.
Changing gears now, 124 participants have benefited from the prior learning assessment course hosted by the Ministry of Sport and Youth Affairs at the National Training Agency. The program formally recognizes skills and competencies gained through work experience, training, and life experience, even if they were not acquired through traditional academic pathways. The graduation ceremony for these participants was held on Wednesday night at the Chaguanas Borough Corporation. Kurt Hickalsing, who was one of the participants, shared his experience with TTT News.
So the challenges with this would have been to create the portfolio. And having many years in industry, sometimes we do not document and take photographs working in natural gas environments. So getting testimonies and looking for photos and looking for evidence was at times a bit challenging. But with the guidance of Mr. Kevin Lafon, the person who liaised with me through NTA, it was made pretty simple in the end.
In some sport now, head coach of the Trinidad and Tobago under-17 men's football team, Randolph Boyce, is hoping for an improved performance when his team faces St. Martin in their second CONCACAF under-17 World Cup qualifier this evening at the Hasely Crawford Stadium. In the match set to kick off at 7 p.m., TNT would be looking to better their defeat in their opening Group A match versus Barbados on Tuesday.
They're young. We definitely have to keep motivating them. We have to pick them up from where they're at now. Right, and the only thing to do is motivate them and encourage them to be able to play, because as much as we might want to win and we need to win, it's much about developing them and teaching them the right things in the right way. So it makes no sense being on them. It's just to keep motivating them as we go forward from here.
And as we go, the next 99.1 FM pavement line, which was scheduled to take place tonight at 11A Marval Road in Port of Spain, has been cancelled. This was confirmed in a statement from TTT Limited, which also said that the event scheduled at Bruce Bar in Curep on Friday night is also cancelled. TTT Limited says the decision was not taken lightly, but the circumstances were beyond its control. It explains that following careful consideration, it was determined that proceeding at this time would not allow the event to be delivered to the standard expected by its audience. TTT Limited is apologizing for any inconvenience or disappointment, but promises that you can look forward to the continuation of the Fair Play campaign at the Lime at Flavor Village on Wednesday, 11th February. And that was your TTT News Update. I'm Carrie Roberts. Have a great day.
That was TTT News on Talk City 91.1 FM.
Talk City 91.1 FM. Talk.
The Cabinet has approved the increase in the permissible age of importation of foreign-use right-hand drive private cars, that's sports utilities, SUVs, sedans, and station wagons, powered by gasoline, dieseline, or compressed natural gas, CNG, from 3 years to under 8 years and under from the date of manufacture.
Music. Culture.
As Prime Minister Kamala Persad-Bissessar has announced recently with our revitalization master plan, we are open for business, and a key area, a key focus of that master plan is, of course, the energy sector and the energy hub. And we will be open for business, not only for Nutrien, but for all other players that wish to discuss their investment portfolio with us.
Engaging conversations, latest news, our music. This is Talk City 91.1 FM.
These are not just stories. They are the echoes of who we are, passed down in voices, in silence, and in memory. From the heart of the Caribbean, where history, mystery, and magic meet, this is Echoes of Our Folklore. Echoes of Our Folklore. Your weekly journey into the legends, stories, and whispers of our islands. Echoes of Our Folklore. Brought to you with the compliments of Creamery for all life's moments. In the deep shadowed forests, there is a presence that has walked these lands long before roads, before cities, before man believed the wilderness belonged to him. His name is Papa Bois. They say Papa Bois is short and stocky, with 2 horns crowning his head and the legs of a deer. He moves silently through the trees, carrying a horn of his own, one that he uses not to threaten, but to test. For when wicked hunters enter the forest with greed in their hearts, Papa Bois sounds his call, luring them deeper into the bush until the familiar path disappears and they are left lost among the trees. But make no mistake, Papa Bois is not a creature of evil. He is spoken of as a kind and ancient spirit, a guardian of the forest, a protector of animals, and a keeper of balance between humanity and nature. To those who respect the land, he is unseen. To those who seek only to exploit it, he becomes a warning. Papa Bois reminds us that the forest is not ours to conquer, but a living world to protect. Another tale from our islands, reminding us that the past, the spirits, and the stories of our ancestors are never far away. You've been listening to Echoes of Our Folklore. Echoes of Our Folklore. Only on Talk City 91.1 FM. You've been listening to Echoes of Our Folklore, brought to you with the compliments of Creamery for all life's moments.
Breaking news from Creamery Ice Cream. Our 1 gallon family has grown. Dive into the bold flavors of our Creamery Ice Cream's new zesty orange pine, rich strawberry cheesecake, and this just in, Creamery Ice Cream now has cherry vanilla and cherry coconut flavors too. Plus, your favorites, rum and raisin, chocolate ripple, and strawberry ripple have joined our 1 gallon family. A representative from Creamery Ice Cream has confirmed these flavors are available nationwide. That's the latest scoop from Creamery Ice Cream. Creamery Ice Cream for all life's moments.
Your stories, your communities, your country. TTT News is everywhere, on the ground, across Trinidad and Tobago, and on every smart device. When it matters, we're there, reporting the news as it happens. Because your world can't wait. Your world moves fast, so do we. TTT News brings you the people, events, and issues that matter most. Stay informed, stay ahead. TTT News, every night at 7. TTT News, committed, accurate, relevant.
This Valentine's Day on Talk City 91.1, we're talking about real love.
Not the fairy tales, not the perfect endings, but the love that comes after heartbreak.
Join us for Second Chances, Love After Heartbreak.
If you've loved and lost.
If you've survived divorce.
Or a long relationship.
And somehow found love again. We want to hear your story, because love doesn't always start perfectly, but sometimes the second time means even more.
Call in, share your journey, inspire someone who still believes. Second Chances, Love After Heartbreak.
Only on Talk City 91.1 FM. Real conversations, real life, real love. On Monday 9th to Friday 13th February, join us for Second Chances, Love After Heartbreak.
I carry a water from the moon and back, oh. I dey change my track, oh, just to see you there.
Talk City 91.1. Thought-provoking conversations, bold perspectives, voices you trust. Listen on 91.1 FM and connect on Facebook, YouTube, and TikTok. New shows, new features, big giveaways. Talk City 91.1. Your city, your voice. Where Carnival meets conversation. Talk City 91.1.
This is Destra. And right now you're listening to Talk City 91.1. Keep it locked. Bang, bang, bang.
Time check. It's 12 minutes past the hour, 8 o'clock. And you're listening and viewing the Ground Report on Talk City 91.1 FM. And you can also view us and listen to us online on Real Media TT, Facebook, YouTube, Corridor Transformation, and all the various social networks that you can get us. Yeah, still let me come a little different day again, because I want to make sure and keep my partner engaged. Yeah. I don't know what it is. He's worked too hard. I only hope he's getting paid for all that work he's doing there. A little bit again, now that tell my boy they just let him the raga there and just wipe the dribble. Yeah, wipe the dribble. Trinidad and Tobago, before we continue, we would like to make this clear to each and every one of you. Yes, the Ground Report supports the government of Trinidad and Tobago 100%. Yours truly, the Pitbull of Radio and all, we voted and all for the government. We gave you all the pledge that if ever the government is going wrong, we and all will let you know when it's nonsense. Lennox Smith and them used a word earlier on that Nigel asked him, and he gave the definition to it. Nigel asked Lennox Smith that word again. I want Lennox Smith just to give the definition because I just want to get into something very quick to everyone. Ask him the word where you asked just now there, Director Snipes.
The word is stooge.
Stooge. Lennox Smith, what is a stooge?
As I said, unnecessarily humble.
Unnecessary humble. Nice. Trinidad and Tobago, to each and every one of you in your maxis, in your taxis, in your PH vehicles, in your buses, wherever you are, listening to Talk City, the #1 program, the Ground Report, we have to be able to make various things clear. If you have a child, you realize your child ain't made for book. Would you continue to push your child in the direction of book that will wreck his life? Or would you not look now to see if you can push him in trade or in a category or in a direction in which he can become something or forge a living out of it? Whether it be a plumber, whether it be a mason, whether it be a mechanic, whether it be a welder, and all those various trades. No, the government of Trinidad and Tobago is doing a very good job. They are bringing out the information necessary for you all. But we, the people of Trinidad and Tobago, or we within the media or on the Ground Report, well understand and know not everybody that's listening to the parliament. Not everybody that's listening to the 7 o'clock news or will read our papers. It is what it is. Or else, if it wasn't that, then Senator Arnold Roberts wouldn't have been every minute when he's talking, he always say the PNM papers, the mainstream media, they bias, they influencing people, trends of thoughts and all those various things. The media is an influencer, which means that we all acknowledge that the 1% media have that power to influence the people, and they have it in mass because they have television, they have newspapers, and they have radio stations and all these various things, and they're on social media. Understand Trinidad and Tobago? So when people playing ignorant and will come and the Ground Report, they say, well, and the people don't read, the government doing this, the government have to do no more, the government, no, all here, no. If the government and we all, including Senator Arnold Roberts, who is a part of the government, know what is the problem, know what is the influencers out there, we now have to try to interact and counteract that. Find ways and means to get the message out. Not be ignorant and say, well, they should watch the parliament, or they should have read the papers, or should have done this. Not everybody like Kalaloo. Not everybody's eat pork. Not everybody's eat chicken or meat. It are vegetarians too. Understand? So I believe it's a cop out by fanatics of this present government to not want to advise their own government that, hey, we have to find ways and means, because this have been going on for a while, to interact with the people, get the communications out, because that is what's lacking. They are communicating, but it is lacking. We have to find it. Lennox, explain to them.
Let me give an example that occurred just a few moments ago. A person who we consider to be intelligent, fairly intelligent, and of course we call him, I think, the opposer, words to that effect. But here he says that, listen, the government ought to have told us that, listen, this is what we met in order for us to take these actions that appear to be draconian or should I say, unilateral, meaning they take it upon their own without any discussion. Now, that to me brings to the fore and very pellucid and very poignant, very up in your face and in your head, that there is a need for what you are saying. Because all of that would have been discussed in the debate. On what? On the budget. Because various presenters on the government side in particular would have said that the reserve, for example, moved from 12 billion US in 2015, and the government by 2025, April 28, met only 4 to 5 billion of that money. And so anybody with a modicum of common sense would know that now the government has to go and borrow, even though on the campaign trail, something that would have suggested that that kind of borrowing would not have taken place. But here it is, he comes today, over 8 months of the government in place, ought to have known that that was explained at least in the budget arrangement. But because he didn't hear that or didn't tune in to the debate on an intense basis, could come now today and say, well, the government should have said so and so. So therefore, it manifests your argument that there is a need for further expansion of the process of delivering and getting the message of the government outside there to every nook and cranny.
Correct. Yeah. Correct. So right. So we can't say it better, Trinidad and Tobago. We cannot say it better. Okay? So the government of Trinidad and Tobago are bringing the information to you. It's there. It's there. But you're all not getting it. Right? Compared to the 1% papers, TV stations, radio stations, and them getting out the propaganda message by all means necessary. And the same stupid people that always saying that ain't getting the message, ain't getting the message from the government, or they end this one that ain't they getting the message from the propaganda machine of the PNM and the biased 1% media. So right, the government knows that. They are doing it, but they have to organize and intensify to try to get that message overwhelming. So we all will understand why they do this, why they do that. And it's not that, as Lennox say, they already mentioned all of this already in Parliament. But the people just don't know.
And as I said, the example that I drew, I recognize that caller as an intelligent person. And yet still, he is of the view that the government did not explain what they meant and why they are now taking these measures. And clearly, he must have been listening to some other platform in order to draw that conclusion, which did not give him that information. Understand that? And it may well be a planned agenda, not so to do, because they have an agenda that may well be to hide, to not disseminate that information because it is not in their, it will not serve their purpose. And therefore he comes today about a couple minutes ago and tells us that the government did not, listen again, did not explain why it is that they had to go and deal with the the transport people or the traffic amendments in terms of those doubling of those fines, and I think he mentioned one or two others, but that was explained, but it didn't reach him, and I consider him a fairly intelligent and one who is searching for information, but where he got it, and because that source was silent on those matters, he now comes here and tells us that the government should have done something that in fact was done.
Nice. So somebody say, well, Andy, why instead of complaining, why you all does not put out the correct information? No, we put out the correct information, Mr. Mohan Prasad. We always do, but it's not everybody, again, listens to the ground report. It's not everybody will listen to Mr. X and off the record that's coming after us. It's not everybody will read the papers. It's not. So, all right, let me ask then. Knowing we know where's the problem that somehow all of the government putting out the information, somehow a lot of people not getting it, and the propaganda machine, mainstream media, getting the negative propaganda information out there. Such as, look, for instance, we hear where Marco Rubio mentioned that when we all refinery up and running or however, Trinidad and Tobago is favored. Favored. You know, many of Trinidad and Tobago don't know that. Is favored as a U.S. partner or as first in line when it comes into oil refining and all kind of thing in this atmosphere. You know, the mainstream, the other mainstream, them import that, and who had it? Have it in the 7-page, 8-page, but they're sticking with hands in the air, the man gets shoot up and all these things, and they just, you understand? But it wouldn't.
No, I'm glad that you mentioned that, because in today's newspaper, I think it's the Guardian, if you want, you could go and check. The article is essentially saying the way forward with respect to relations with Venezuela, and obviously the question of the dragon, and so on, would have come into play as well. But here what that newspaper is saying, that it is amorphous. The leadership in Venezuela have not reached out or mentioned Trinidad, and nor Trinidad, of course, in terms of policy, have not reached out to Venezuela, and totally bypassing what you just said. Understand that? While we were speculating that Trinidad and Tobago will be a handsome beneficiary because of the foreign policy position and the decision taken by the present government with respect, of course, to the United States, and how they would have approached the matters that turned out, or should I say, culminated in the capture of Maduro.
Yes.
We said Trinidad and Tobago will be the total beneficiary, yet still, the newspapers is still on that trend that is similar to what the opposition was saying, whether it be Amy Brown saying, well, listen, the foreign policies and the attitude of Trinidad and Tobago's government will see Trinidad and Tobago going into the ditch. When in fact, the opposite is the case.
I catch what you're saying. So Trinidad and Tobago, what the Lennox Smith is saying there in our technical way, 2 ways. Why? Look, the positive one, where they're saying plain, American companies will deal with Trinidad and Tobago. The newspapers fail to highlight that in any big way. They leave it quite 7-page, 8-page. Yeah. But today, the negative aspect, but nobody reach out. This one reach out, that one reach out. They ain't going to put the harder one more front headlining than the other one, and that's what's going on. So, what you all want us to do? Knowing we know the games that is being played, what you all want to do? Just leave it so?
We have a call.
Go ahead, caller.
Pleasant good morning. Welcome to the ground report.
Hello, good morning, Director, good morning, Principal, and good morning, Dancer Boy.
Good morning to you, my friend.
How are you this morning?
Well, you know, waiting to dance tomorrow.
But I ain't afraid that.
I hear you.
But Andy talking about your belly hanging on the jaw all kind of thing. But you could dance on your head.
Nobody. Yeah, those who, because they know that they have shortcomings, will try to, of course, project that which doesn't exist.
PNM have long comments.
Go ahead.
Guardian paper, stop buying the Guardian because they are against the UNC. They are pushing the PNM agenda. You understand?
Yes.
Another thing to this one, they call what nobody. Why you don't leave the government alone? Anytime which you go do it, you come in every day with your propaganda about constitutional reform. Everything will fall in place. The government 8 months now in office. Give the people a chance now. Everything will take time. Look at the state of the country. When they come in, nothing in the ministries, no money. The thief in left, right, and center. I hope soon they could start again. They get locked up and get jail, you know. It's a serious thing, you know. Get jail them, because they ain't serving no purpose in this country. If you check all them PNM who have money and is millionaires, just pill for over the years. Go do a history and an inventory on the economics and the position, and they go see. The thief all the way to the bank. And they ain't care about black people, only fooling black people all the time. Bottling them up with sweet talk and not behind it. It's like you fill a bucket of water and have a hole, and when you reach over there, no water in it.
Thank you.
All right. Yeah, thank you. Of course, we have to go for a break. Not yet. Okay. We have another call.
So to make a long story,
I was actually signaling you that when callers start to repeat themselves, you move to
okay, right. Okay,
so save us some time.
Yeah, so we save time and we engage others.
Right.
Good
so
morning.
I wanna end the. Go ahead, caller.
We have a caller. Yeah.
Yeah. Good morning to you, Lennox.
Yes. Good morning.
And good morning to you, Andy Williams.
Well, go ahead, caller.
Andy Williams. Good morning to you.
Thank
and
you.
I will tell you, PNM is a bunch of thieves. All them propaganda. Let me ask you something, Lennox.
Yeah.
You're an educated guy. You're an Andy and others. If you're accustomed getting millions of dollars of a political party, an individual party then, and you come now, and then government take over and take away all that from you, what you will do, and you have media out, and you will go and support the rhetoric and the lies and the propaganda and support the PNM. That's what the 1% them doing. And I went come up as Bissessa was talking in the campaign about the 1% and them. They are the one that eating all the food and giving the people contract to them a mere $100 in the hot sun. You understand? When I'm going over all the money, all them PNM ministers and former ministers and them, you hear they're saying it, wanted 500 million, wanted 300 million, and so it's going. And the all black man who was supporting them all the years never get them going to fight. And you tell me that you want to believe PNM, all you wake up and smell the coffee.
Thank
PNM
you.
is a bunch of.
Thank you. Well, before we think, because we got to go for a break in a little bit, Trinidad and Tobago, because we need to end it in a very, very smart way. This angle here. We all recognize, including Senator Anna Roberts, myself, Lennox Smith, Director Snipes, all recognize it. It have a problem when it comes to communications. It is what it is. What should we do? Just jot back and say, well, the government doing enough. Let me leave it as it is. Or should we find ways and means to overwhelm and make sure that the people get the correct information or communications out there? What says thou? We have a choice. It's either or. Leave it as it is, and we all acknowledge it have a problem. Locksmith, you acknowledge that it have a problem?
Of course, as I mentioned just a few moments ago, a fellow who is supposed to be intelligent, and here it is, he was making it look as though it was gospel, what he was saying, because the information simply did not reach him. So it means, therefore, there is a reaching problem, if you want to call that, a medium through which the information should be disseminated, and making it as ubiquitous or as universal as possible, so that the counter arguments or the propaganda machinery, which of course is a misrepresentation of the information, and the position of the government is countered. And it's a very simple way of treating it. You mentioned it. You need to be all over the place.
Simple. Because the rest of mainstream media not with you. We can't be fanatics and say, well, hey, the government doing enough. They're giving the information. No, it have a problem. And yes, it have dumb people in Trinidad and Tobago will only listen to those propaganda, and they will not hear the government side, because the mainstream that is more overwhelmed than the mainstream, the 1% newspapers and media, they really and truly control. They have majority of the listenership of the people of Trinidad and Tobago, meaning the more influence. A newspaper or media is an influential thing, and they on top when it comes into that. So the government will have to find, because them and mainstream not friend. So they will have to find ways and means to get the message out there even more. Try to fight them, overwhelm them and their propaganda. Or they leave it as it is. And if we leave it as it is, next elections, we all going to be saying, but the government do good. But the government do this. No, but the government didn't do that. And mainstream will have more ears out there to get the people saying the government ain't good, the government failed, the government this, the government that. There's going to be a fight up, So we go wait till it's a fight up, or we go organize to try to get the information to people from now. I'm a very proactive person, Jen. Let me nip it in the butt from now. So in the long run, we at least know 60% of Trinidad and Tobago, 70% of Trinidad and Tobago have the proper information. You see all the fanatics that want to play ignorant, but yet still not ignorant that mainstream media is against the government? Come on now, man, don't play ignorant.
And depending on the toxicity of the counter argument, you run the risk of instability as well. I mean, the classic example of that is the reign and the period between 1986 and 1991. I'm talking about the NAR, when, of course, a state of emergency had to be called, but you also had an attempted coup. I'm not being facetious or in any way being or promoting panic. But what I'm saying, that these are real, because we know, we have been there and we saw how that came about, and therefore it will be foolhardy to know something burns and know what fire is and still push your hand in it.
And one more before you go for the break. One more before you go for the break. Yeah? One more. Trinidad and Tobago, the NAR government that not around no more with Robinson, them really did not do the country nothing, Them never do this country nothing in all here. Them really meet a destroyed country by the same PNM all here. But here what? Robinson and them did not have the support of mainstream media. The 1%. Mainstream media block and make the country, because that is the power of the media, believe that Robinson and the NRS who mash up this country. Look, they take away a cola. Look how many people get fired.
Propaganda.
Look,
the propaganda.
What?
That is rife right now.
Not knowing how hard was it really until the government back then had to build back the country after PNM destroyed. And that's what's going on now all year. History come to repeat itself. The mainstream media is not for the UNC government. This government meet a country mash up after nearly 10 years of the PNM and rowley them by. And now they have to take harsh measures to organize to try to fix this thing back. And mainstream media in bringing that message out to you that again, all what are doing? The point all that the government doing all their wickedness. Understand how mainstream media is doing it. Not knowing the government and doing all the wickedness. The government trying to fix back what it is that was left, which is a crash economy. The whole place in a mess. A lawless, even more lawless society than ever. And a mainstream media that don't like them because they can't eat our food. Come on, all here. I hope all you understand now.
And that's a medium is attempting, by extension, to sanitize the opposition.
I understand that you guys want to bring the point across, but we really do have
to go. Okay, let's go for the break, and when we come back, more on this edition of the Ground Report. It's getting hot in here.
Ladies and gentlemen, the story of the Elysee Treaty teaches us that when nations commit to unity, the future becomes possible.
Parliamentary Secretary at the Ministry of Culture and Community Development, Dr. Narendra Rupnarine, as he addressed patrons at a special classical music concert hosted by the embassies of France and Germany. Held at the National Academy for the Performing Arts, the event marked the 63rd anniversary of the Elysee Treaty, an enduring symbol of cooperation, peace, and unity between nations. Dr. Rupnarine noted that cultural exchange plays a vital role in strengthening international relationships, while also nurturing local talent and national pride.
On behalf of the Ministry of Culture and Community Development, I reaffirm our continued endorsement of events such as this concert and of partnerships that make cultural exchange possible, partnerships that celebrate the very best of the world whilst uplifting the best of Trinidad and Tobago.
Parliamentary Secretary at the Ministry of Culture and Community Development, Dr. Narendra Rupnarine. Through its continued support for cultural diplomacy and artistic excellence, the government, through the Ministry of Culture and Community Development, reaffirms its commitment to preserving and promoting the arts as a pillar of national development for generations to come.
This was a production of the Information Division, Office of the Prime Minister.
After Carnival, TNT, the show you all been waiting for. Laugh till your belly bust. In partnership with Talk City 91.1 FM and TTT Limited, 28th of February at Napa, Port of Spain. Showtime, 8 p.m. sharp. Come see the funniest guys on the planet and the man who took social media by storm, Victor St. Louis, a.k.a. Pelf.
You know, things so hard right now in Trinidad. You know, a store in town, no fire, 2 mannequins.
All his funny friends. Kenneth Sipasa, the greatest storytime teller ever. Shaquille, Louis Spider-Man Antoine, Andrew Friday, The Saint.
Listen, me know first it's so expensive. I went and priced a plate there. You know, they're telling me $10,000 for a plate. I say, only I know sauces.
And Paniska is back.
Stop it, honey. Don't bring out the dog in me, you know. I better scrape you.
Get those tickets now. Ronnie and Caro, Mascap, Maraval Road, Port of Spain, Bruce Bar, St. Augustine, and IslandEtickets.com. For ticket hotlines, call 278-5892, 316-0814, 382-9986. Laugh till your belly busts.
Calling all culture lovers. Are you ready to dive into the heart and soul of Trinidad and Tobago? Tune in to Culture Talk, where we explore the vibrant traditions, sizzling rhythms, and rich stories of our islands every Saturday from 7 to 9 p.m. with Short Pants. And how do you feel about Calypso? On Sunday, Short Pants opens the doors of the Kaiso Cafe from 1 to 5 p.m. You can share your views, chat with the singers, hear some of the best Calypsos that were ever sung, and learn a little something and more about our Trinbago culture. Culture Talk on Saturday and Kaiso Cafe on Sunday with Short Pants on Talk City 91.1 FM.
Carnival Stories. Carnival Stories. History in motion. Juve, the birth of the road.
Before sunrise on Carnival Monday, Trinidad awakens to Juve, the opening of the road. Its roots lie in Canboulay, when the formerly enslaved reclaimed the streets at night with drums, mud, oil, paint and powder, marking bodies that once bore chains. Juve was raw, unpolished, unapologetic. No costumes, no barriers, just people, rhythm, and release. Today's mud and powder carry the same message. Freedom is not performed for an audience. It is lived in the streets before dawn.
Carnival Stories. Carnival Stories. History in motion. Carnival Stories on Talk City 91.1 FM.
If you are a migrant currently living in Trinidad and Tobago without legal immigration status, this message is for you. The government of Trinidad and Tobago has introduced a special registration process for migrants who have overstayed or entered the country illegally. The online registration process will begin from Monday 26th of January and end on Wednesday 25th of February 2026. All applicants are first required to register through the official portal at migrantregistration.gov.tt. That's migrantregistration.gov.tt. After completing the online registration, there will be a mandatory in-person processing and verification which begins at the end of February 2026. The start date for that phase will be announced through official government channels. The in-person registration will take place at the Hazley Crawford Stadium, Port of Spain, the Atto Bolden Stadium in Balmain, Couva, and the Larry Gomes Stadium in Malabar, Arima, as well as the Dwight York Stadium, Bacalet, Scarborough, Tobago. Applicants will undergo a comprehensive verification process, which will include vetting by the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service involving fingerprinting and background checks. You will also be required to undergo basic medical screening. Upon completion of the registration process, successful applicants will be required to pay $700 for the migrant registration card. The ministry reminds undocumented migrants your participation in this exercise is essential, as failure to register during this window will result in deportation. This special registration process for migrants is your opportunity to be documented, protected, and allowed to work legally in Trinidad and Tobago for a defined period. For additional instructions, along with online application and required forms, visit the official portal at migrantregistration.gov.tt. That's migrantregistration.gov.tt. This message brought to you by the Ministry of Homeland Security and the Information Division, Office of the Prime Minister.
This Valentine's season, Talk City 91.1 FM celebrates second chances at love. Were you divorced, heartbroken, widowed, and thought love was over until it found you again? Share your story on air in just 1 or 2 minutes. Tell us how you healed, how long it took, and how love returned. Respectfully, honestly, and from the heart. Daily winners will be selected with a grand prize winner announced on Friday, February 13th. Second chances. Love after heartbreak. Only on Talk City 91.1.
I dey carry your water from the moon and back, oh. I dey change my track, oh, just to see you there.
More news, more access, more ways to stay informed. TTT News covers the stories that matter on air and online. Join us nightly at 7. TTT News, committed, accurate, relevant.
Don't let the flu season slow you down. As Carnival approaches, the Ministry of Health is urging the public to take action now. Influenza can cause severe illness, hospitalization, and even death, especially in older adults, children, pregnant women, and persons with chronic conditions. But vaccination can help reduce severe illness. Crowded events, late nights, and close contact can increase the risk of spreading the virus. Don't wait until you're sick. Get vaccinated today. Influenza vaccine is available free at all health centers and vaccination sites nationwide. Visit the ministry's social media pages for more information. Protect yourself, protect others, get your flu shot today. A message from the Ministry of Health.
From the road to the radio. Talk City 91.1. Any view or opinions expressed on the ground report are solely those of the hosts and callers and do not represent the views, policies, or official position of Talk City 91.1, its management, or affiliates.
This is Destra. Right now you're listening to Talk City 91.1. Keep it loud.
Bang, 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 bang.
Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. We are back. Time check. It's 13 minutes to the hour of 9 o'clock, or to the hour of 9 o'clock. And you're listening to the Ground Report on Talk City 91.1 FM. So again, we throw out something and then we come with some solutions, because we must never organize and close and think myopic at all. All right. I with my big mouth, because people are saying, well, all right, the government doing enough. No. All right, and let me give only a perfect example. By law, in Trinidad and Tobago, all media houses that got that license to air in this country are obligated to play in their television stations and their radio station the government information by law. You all will hear on this program, this government station here, that by law, this government station will play, you will hear little commercials saying, this was brought to you by the office of the Prime Minister and the government information and all those various things and all these things. Which means that is free. That is part of the agreement of those media houses, including this media house, getting a license. How come on Boom I don't hear government information? How come on 96.7 and 96 point Snipes use them DJ Boy. Where's call them two besides Boom? It Red and the 90 next 96. How we call it?
It's up 961967.
Right.
Slam 100.5. I have a couple of them well.
Right.
Urban stations.
Urban stations.
Urban stations.
A lot of urban stations with the youths. Just listen. You know, they don't get no government information. I am saying this government that in power, here, get the iron fist. Start with the iron fist. Who vex. Because while those urban stations, and you're seeing ads, they're making money, commercials like that, and that is all that they take a break for. But they wouldn't take a break to play what they legally binded to do. Having their radio station license or the television license, which is to play the government information clips or messages, which this be provided to all media houses. And they have to play it for free. But no. Talk City go do it because it's a government station. Next go do it because it's government. 100 go do it because it's government. So all the rest of their competitions, them can do it too. Now, Smith, please explain to the public again that what I just said there.
No, you are correct, but I want to tell you that in practice, the reason why it may seem to be an exercise in futility for the government is because they will choose to play it at times when people may be sleeping, for example, not on drive time. There may be some amendment that may be required, and therefore those who are supposed to monitor or the regulators and to make certain that occurs as a condition of these license seem to ignore simply because the counterbalance to that by the media house or the owners of these license is that they will play it at a time when really no one is paying attention.
So they understand. So again, the lines are open, Trinidad and Tobago. So look, I give a good example where, so all right, we know that. We all know that. So we should now organize and encourage the government because we need to get the message out there where everybody, from the young to the old, getting the message. Look at easy next week.
And of course, especially on social media, which of course seem to be the driving force for even traditional media to follow. And therefore, depending on how powerful you are out there and your audience, you certainly can, of course, make a dent. But the ubiquitousness or the universality of the message and the medium, the multiple medium to be used so to execute, I think is crucial. And there is some lacks or some limitation. Thus, of course, the comments of so many ministers having to do what clearly is damage control. We saw that here with Anna Roberts. We saw it yesterday with Alexander, the Minister of Homeland
Nice.
security.
So what the government had to do too is partner with influencers out there, because Donald Trump did it. Donald Trump won an election because he partnered with influencers. It is what it is.
Right.
It have influencers on social media that people listens to. It is what it is. We have to get out the box. We messages cannot only be coming across based on radio, TV, and all the various things. It had to also come across social media. But not social media box in. We have to organize and spread. It have influencers out there. And this fella, everybody running him down. We call it a C thing. We call him young brother. When young brother is a man there with TSTT or B-Mobile, one of them state entities there, he's a representative or whatever and making money. And he's an influencer. Let the man organize and give the message out there.
And that's all you want. You want the message to go out to counter the message that would negative or have the government appear to not perform in the way that one would have expected, based on probably some promises that may be the subject of adjustments because the circumstance merits it when they would have get into government.
Now, let me get my next example. Right? Besides young brother, well, like I see Dwayne Bravo, Poran, and Karen Pollard, them getting money from the state as ambassadors, this ambassadors that. The state not giving them no propaganda. It's not that they're getting involved in no politics. But the true fact and whatever is the communications need to go out there, them fellas getting paid. They are influencers. The government have to organize and let them organize and talk to the people based on the truth and facts and the policies on what's being done and what's being done. So they're making money for free. For free. So they need to get...
You got to capitalize. You got to capitalize
on the money you're spending.
Intensify that capitalization, yeah.
Marshall Montano, this one, that one. All of them is influencers. There's no photo up and they just make money. Let them organize and bring the truth. There ain't gonna be no propaganda machine, you know. They're smart enough to read through something and know if they took this pass in parliament, and I believe this is that, and get your opinion. Nobody can say that they're in politics. Hey, do you believe that it's right that in dry season people must wash their vehicles, Marshall? Or they should with a hose, or they should use a bucket and wash their vehicles? Hee-ha! Well, I believe in the dry season, knowing that the reservoir always going down. Hee-ha! That they should wash the vehicle with a bucket of water instead of using a hose.
To conserve water.
What wrong with that? Yeah. What wrong with the saying that? Lennox Smith, Snipes, how much time we are there? I hope people get the message we're trying to bring across there. Lennox Smith, you got the message, right?
No, I think it was well executed, and by chance, callers called in and was claiming that they didn't know, and therefore it has triggered this discussion, this debate, which has to be one of critical importance, because it is about an opposition that only cares about accessing power, and the history has shown, the chronology has shown, the experience has shown that when they get there, they then engage, of course, in draconian and very anti-democratic conduct that is not consistent with what was expected, and then we go through the cycle again. They go out of office, and then, of course, the government, like this one, comes in and want to do well, but find themselves shortchanged by a number of issues that they did not cater for, and now have to adjust that in order, of course, to then distribute equitably and deliver to the society.
Nice.
That's the reality.
So we don't want to lock off too late, Trinidad and Tobago. It's 3 minutes, yes. It's 3 minutes to the hour. To 9 o'clock. Yes, to 9 o'clock. You all know coming up next is Mr. X and Stephon with off the record. Yes, with Off the Record. So you all know that. Don't forget tonight, Corridor Transformation with yours truly, Lennox Smith, from 8 o'clock. That's something else I could talk, but I want to do that private first. When it comes to affiliations, I seeing somebody that getting government endorsements as an artist. You can see the artists and them, they say they too. Whole they ain't gonna let Marshall pay taxes. He making millions. Patrice, let him pay the taxes. In America, when there's an artist, you have taxes to pay. When there's a movie maker, a star, you have taxes to pay. They get to see how much they make jail because they didn't pay the taxes. Why in Trinidad and Tobago, it's allowed that artists making money and not paying tax and then giving back? You understand? I see it at one, and I ain't go call the name. Have big on social media. Big. But every time they're promoting, they have a big weed in the hand. And what them is a part of government endorsement. But when they're online, they have a big weed. Big weed. Promoting music and different artists going and check them and all kind of thing. And they have them, the DJ, all of them, big spoof in the mouth. And alcohol. Understand, you know? I don't think that's right. I don't think that's right.
And of course, we are nearing, of course, our tolerance
right,
here.
well, let me close it off.
And therefore, I just want to say this, that the minister did say that, recognized that development is still in its infancy, and therefore there's no decision on taxing these artists as yet, because we are really in the infancy of developing that as a product that we could really depend on in terms of diversification.
Nice.
So
Trinidad
I just
Tobago,
wanted to say that.
after God, family comes first. Be safe on the nation's roads, Trinidad and Tobago. Until tomorrow morning, please, God, from 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. Yours truly, the Pitbull of Radio, on behalf of the Ground Report team, Snipes, and Lennox Smith, we are out of here.
Talk City 91.1 FM. Talk.
Cabinet has approved the establishment of the regulatory framework for the registration and management of classic, antique, and vintage vehicles in Trinidad and Tobago.
Music. Culture.
We are now in a state where I can now proudly announce that our gas production will increase by a significant amount, given all the various projects that are now expected to come online.
Engaging conversations, latest news, our music. This is Talk City 91.1 FM.
These are not just stories, they are the echoes of who we are, passed down in voices, in silence, and in memory. From the heart of the Caribbean, where history, mystery, and magic meet, this is Echoes of Our Folklore. Echoes of Our Folklore. Your weekly journey into the legends, stories, and whispers of our islands. Brought to you by Talk City 91.1 FM. In the deep